Drake
What
listened
are
to
you
the album
talking about?
early
He
on.
showed Drake the album before he released it.
How do you think he made the album? He made the album before he met Drake.
Out here talking like at least a nigga tried. That's how you felt in 2011 while we wasting time. Dreams come true, Crody. This is where you die.
That's the thing. I already did.
So Drake is an immoral bastard?
Who fucks another man's girl while they're
Okay.
in?
So Drake is an immoral bastard.
Yes. He's an
Okay,
immoral bastard.
so now you can't use that against Drake. You can't use it against
No, yes,
Kendrick.
I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can, because Kendrick is not Lil Wayne. He's not I Love Macanelli. He's not Party Next Door. He's not OVO 40. He's not Cash Cobain.
Okay, who cares? None of those people
I'm talking about Drake, between Drake and Kendrick. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, you can't have a problem with somebody based off other shit they do, because by the way, the main issue Kendrick has with Drake is based off other shit.
I can, but I'm saying that those other issues have nothing to do with Drake and Kendrick. That's how this beef. Kendrick didn't beef with Drake because Drake fucked Lil Wayne's girl.
No, and he didn't. Wait, and he didn't beef with Drake because of the control verse. Kendrick didn't have a problem with him.
No. Look. I didn't finish. Right? Kendrick didn't bring up Drake in that control verse because Drake fucked Lil Wayne's girl.
I know. He brought it up. Wait, the control verse, he brought it up because and it wasn't just that Drake.
Oh my God, that's besides the point. Did he bring up Drake fucking Lil Wayne's girl in Control?
Stop bringing up Lil Wayne's girl. The only reason I brought up that is because I wanted you to say
You brought it up.
And I'm telling you why I brought it up. No, if you want me to say that, then let me explain it, because I already explained it before. I didn't bring it to have anything to do with the control verse. I only brought it up because I heard you call Kendrick an immoral bastard, and you've been trying to use this moral high ground shit for the last 20 minutes. So I wanted to see, if you're going to use this moral high ground shit against Kendrick, are you going to call Drake the same thing for doing something worse than Kendrick? And you did. So that's all I wanted to know. So I don't care about the Lil Wayne's girl.
I never said it was worse or not. I never said
you think Kendrick going on?
I never said it was worse or not. You're not going to ask me a question. You didn't answer my question first.
I don't care, because I wanted to see.
You don't have to care. These facts don't care about your feelings.
What are the facts? The fact is Drake fucks over people worse than
whatever Drake and Kendrick were beefing, whatever problem Drake had with Kendrick 10 plus years ago got nothing to do with Wayne, got nothing to do with ASAP.
And I never said any of that. And you bringing it up, even though I don't give a fuck.
You brought it up because you want to talk
exactly
about Drake doesn't have a moral high ground.
You know exactly why I brought up.
Friendship.
You know exactly why I brought up.
You know exactly why I brought up. In this specific friendship. In this specific friendship. In this specific friendship. In this specific friendship. In this specific friendship between Drake and Kendrick, that's the only thing I'm thinking about. That got nothing to do with Lil Wayne. Got nothing to do with none of these niggas. In this specific friendship, Kendrick lost the moral high ground before Drake did.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. I explained why a million
Drake
times.
Drake dissed on Kendrick.
I explained why a million times.
Drake dissed on Kendrick blatantly in the interview talking about Control. He kept dissing on Kendrick. Kendrick never dissed.
Control came out before any tour Drake brought Kendrick on.
Hey, did Kendrick diss Drake on that song? If you say yes, you're a liar. He didn't diss Drake. He didn't diss nobody on that song.
You can diss somebody without having a problem with them. Kendrick dissed
Jay-Z.
Dissed him.
Yo, are you okay? He never dissed him on
dissed Jay-Z for fun.
When did he diss Jay-Z? When did Kendrick diss Jay-Z? Wait, when did Kendrick diss Jay-Z? I want to hear this.
I can bring up the lyrics right now.
All right, give me the lyrics, give me the song, because now we're just talking shit.
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe remix. Jay-Z hopped on Kendrick Lamar's hit song.
Kendrick looks up to Jay-Z. Playing.
Yeah, because they dissed each other for fun.
That's not dissing. They're talking shit. They're talking shit.
Jay-Z threw fun shots. It was for fun.
Okay, stop, bro. Okay, that's not a diss. That's not a diss.
It was for sport. It's a diss, but it's not a personal diss. It's a regular fun diss. It's a regular fun diss.
Was it disrespectful? Was it disrespectful? Answer. Was it disrespectful?
In a rap battle? Battle?
Was it disrespectful? Was it disrespectful?
What's your definition of disrespectful? What do you mean by that? What is your definition?
What is my definition of disrespectful?
Yes.
Lack of respect. So whatever respect is, the lack of it. That's literally what disrespect is. You showing something that's a lack of respect.
Okay, it wasn't disrespectful at all.
Okay, thank you. So a diss is disrespecting somebody. By the way, that's why it's called diss. That's why it's called diss, by the way. That's why it's called diss. It's supposed to be short for disrespecting. By the way, that's why it's called diss. So if Kendrick goes on Control and says, I fuck with all of y'all, but I'm better than you guys. I respect all you guys. You guys are good, but I'm fucking better than all of you. If you think that's a diss, you're sensitive. That's facts. Because by definition, he didn't.
That's not why I said it was disrespectful.
Then stop saying he dissed them. Then you need to take back right now.
When like this who Jay-Z or Drake? We talking about Jay-Z?
Both, because they didn't disrespect each other. They were fucking talking shit. They at the end of the day, they both respect each other. They both respect each other.
Okay, if that's what disrespect is, yes, I agree. They didn't. Jay-Z.
You can't agree, bro. It's a fact. The fact doesn't care about what you think.
The fact is that Jay-Z didn't disrespect Kendrick, and Kendrick didn't disrespect Jay-Z. They
didn't diss each other. Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
You're short for disrespecting. It's like they're one and the same. It's just shorthand.
Yeah, my bad.
When Drake responded to Kendrick in an interview, not the rap way, he basically was saying like, that seems phony. He was calling Kendrick fake. He wasn't being authentic. How you gonna do this in the booth and not say this like this with me in real life? I saw Kendrick at whatever the thing. He dabbed me up. It was all good. It was basically little broing Kendrick. And I don't know if you know where Kendrick's from.
Oh yeah,
where he's from. Drake said that? Kendrick's from. That's a sign of disrespect, and Drake knows this. Drake is not.
Like you're saying, Drake said that.
Or yeah, Drake was like, Drake said like, Drake said in the little interview, he was like, oh, how are you gonna say this? But when I see you in person, there's no issues. It's implying that Kendrick's not about that.
That's after Control came out.
Yes, after Control. Of course, it's after Control. He was talking about how Kendrick is like phony for that. Like that's a phony thing for him to do. And he was like, oh, he had his little moment, but it'll fade away. He's basically not taking Kendrick seriously. He's dissing him.
Disrespected Drake first.
Wait, where did he disrespect him? Now I'm gonna have to hold you to that. Where did he diss him? Where did he diss him? I have to hold you to that.
Disrespect. I didn't say diss. I said disrespect.
Yo, this is shorthand for disrespecting. We're not about to play this game right now.
No, you're not thinking about it the way I'm saying this. You can disrespect someone in anything. It doesn't got to be rap.
Okay, where did he disrespect him at? Later.
Okay, I said it a million times. I said that just go back in time like you're a time traveler.
That's fine. Just tell me the thing and I'll let you know if it's right or wrong. Because
the disrespect is Kendrick didn't let Drake know it's competition.
No, it's not. He doesn't. You don't have to fucking tell someone. Yo, is Drake Lamar's dad? Is Drake Kendrick Lamar's dad? Is Drake Kendrick Lamar's dad? No, you don't got to tell him everything he's doing.
I wasn't finished explaining how it was disrespect. Even though I explained it a million times, it's disrespect.
Yo, that's not enough. The fact.
Yes,
it
is enough. Yes, it is enough.
They don't care about what you think about it.
Enough. It's not about what I think. It's the facts. And the fact is Kendrick disrespected Drake first.
Tell me where he disrespected him. Tell me where he or like what did he do to disrespect
him? It's the entire action of 2011. I didn't even fucking finish. Because you know I'm right. You're not going to let me finish.
I know you're not right because you got to bring up the same
thing. Right, nigga. You're not letting me finish. All right, bro, you know I'm right.
Just finish the whole thing so I can tell you you're wrong.
Okay,
actually, let me hear what you say first before I tell you you're wrong. Maybe you'll be right.
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me then.
We'll find out. All right, go.
Okay, so basically, it's the entire act of not letting Drake know that, hey, I made rigor mortis, but it doesn't mean you're safe. That doesn't mean you're safe just because you brought me on tour, and this is all love. At the end of the day, it's rap, Drake. But then years later, he comes out with Control, bringing up Drake in the song. That act, Control in it itself is not disrespectful. That's not disrespectful. You established that too. That's not disrespectful.
I can't establish that. It's not my opinion. It's literally just the fact
you
of the
can
matter.
make an established fact. Like, you when you make a statement and you're for sure knowing it's fact. You interrupted me too, by the way. When you make an established
because you
thing,
said something
right? You
about
can
me, so if you
establish
say something about me, I'm
facts.
gonna have to clarify.
When you told me certain things are facts, you established that they're facts to me. You established to me those are facts. That doesn't mean you own the facts. You didn't create the
I read the
fact.
definition of the word. You just look at the definition of what the word means.
Well, you clearly did it because you keep on misconstruing what I said. When I say
what does this mean? What does this mean? Then no. We gotta go over this because we're not gonna finish. We're not gonna continue until we know.
Song.
No, it doesn't have to be a song. It doesn't have to be a song. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. That's why they're called diss songs. A diss track, a diss verse, a diss album, a diss track. Diss track. Why is it not just called diss?
So you wanted me to bring up how Kendrick dissed Drake, whether it's a track or not?
Because he didn't do it in a track. So I want to know how he did it. So I want to know how he did it.
By that definition, Kendrick dissed Drake first.
When did he diss him? Because you kept okay. Finish, because I'm still waiting.
It's the act of literally not saying this to him man to man in his face, but then going around years later to do it on a random person's song.
You say random like it's big. Okay, stop playing. First of all, not random.
No. Like when I say random, I mean irrelevant to the friendship. Jay Electronica and Big Sean have nothing to do with Drake and Kendrick.
That's fine. That's cool. Whatever.
So that's what I mean by random.
Okay. I'm still waiting for the disrespectful part.
That's
because
that's
not disrespectful.
The act is the disrespect. Not the song. The
act is the song.
Control is not disrespectful. That's not disrespectful. I never said Control was disrespectful.
Yeah, I know.
It's not that. It's not that.
You think the way he went about it was disrespectful?
Yes. That's what I mean.
And I'm telling you, you're wrong. Because until you
How is that wrong?
Because he didn't disrespect him. He didn't belittle him in any way. He wasn't like, oh, I didn't tell Drake about it because he don't need to know. He's just a little bro.
Belittling is just another form of disrespect.
I know, but I'm saying he didn't do none of that. He didn't do none of that.
I never said Kendrick had to belittle Drake to be to be disrespectful.
Wait. Is not telling somebody something disrespectful?
Depending on if it.
Your argument is that
it depends.
Your argument is that since Kendrick didn't tell Drake about it, it's disrespectful.
It depends. It depends on the context. Here's the context.
Okay, the context is Kendrick and Drake have been cool. He went on his tour.
No. Let me say the context. You don't know what I'm saying. Let me say it. The context is this, right? If Drake did not help Kendrick the way he did, and Kendrick still came out with Control, what Kendrick did there is not disrespectful.
So he can't compete with him because he helped him?
I never said that.
But that's what Control is.
See, you're not listening. I said this multiple times.
I know what you're saying, but it don't add up. I know what you're saying.
So let me say this again then. Hypothetically, when Drake brought Kendrick on his tour, I said that if Kendrick told Drake this stuff,
he don't gotta tell him shit. He don't gotta tell him shit.
I never said it was mandatory.
No. I know. I'm saying he don't gotta tell him shit. Wait. Let me explain. He don't have to tell him. I know. No, because I got to. He don't have to tell him shit.
Why do you have to interrupt me if I know it's true? I never said he had to do anything.
No, listen. He don't gotta tell him to make it respectful. Just because he doesn't tell him doesn't mean it's disrespectful. That's not how that works. That's never how that works.
Yes, it is how it works.
That's not how you're wrong. No, it's not. It's not disrespectful. You know what he said?
So let me ask you this question. Let me give you this scenario. Let me give you this scenario, right? If your girl, and look, just like how you said with your examples, they're not one-on-one. They're not the same in every single. Just an example. Okay. Let's say you had a girlfriend and she did something and didn't tell you.
What is the thing she did? What is the thing she did? Depends.
Exactly. That's the context.
No, I didn't say in what way. I didn't say in what way. I said, what did she do?
Okay.
Do you know why that's important? You know why it's important? Because the what, in comparison, the what in this hypothetical would be control. Because control is the what. The how, I didn't ask about the how. You notice how I didn't ask about the how? I asked about the what. The what is the control. The how is all that other shit.
Why isn't the how why isn't the how irrelevant to how something is
the how is relevant, but there's nothing in the how that leads me to think he's disrespectful because nothing he did.
There is something in the how.
Okay, if Kendrick went, yo, Drake, I'll fuck with you, you're the only exception I have to being competitive. And then he made that, okay, I see what you're doing. Kendrick never said no shit like that to him. Kendrick never made no exception for nobody. He's always been like this. And Drake knew this because Drake claims to be a hip-hop head. So if Drake claims to be a hip-hop head, and if Drake claims to really be into Kendrick because he said he loves Kendrick and he's listened to his shit.
Just because you're a hip-hop head doesn't mean you listen to every single song.
Okay, but guess what? He said he listens to Kendrick because that's how he got put on.
Yeah, so he listens to Kendrick. He never said, just like by your logic, did Drake ever say that he listened to every single Kendrick Lamar song?
You're clinging. That's such a horrible thing to cling on to. Oh, he didn't listen to every single song. So he doesn't know about Kendrick Lamar because he didn't listen to every single song.
You did the same thing to me.
Wait, what did I do? All right, explain it. What did I do that was similar to what you just did?
What you did that was similar to because you said that Kendrick never said Drake was the exception to the shit that
because you have to specify that. You have to specify that. I don't have to specify.
I don't have to specify that I said Drake listen to everything. I never said that. I never specified that.
And I never wait. You have to specify. You have to specify. You have to specify that Drake didn't listen to rigor mortis.
You literally are being hypocritical.
Drake didn't listen to rigor mortis.
You're literally being hypocritical when you do that shit.
Okay, but you didn't even give me what the fuck you said. You just said some shit like I didn't do anything like that. You're just saying.
You said that Drake said it's a hip hop head, so you clearly should have known this.
No, not just because he's a hip hop head. I connected it. You skipped the most important part of that sentence.
No, you said that.
You skipped the most important part of that.
You said that. Drake said
hey, that was good. That was good shifting. That was good shifting. No, that was good shifting. I'll give you that. That was a good way to manipulate the conversation. You skipped the most important part of that sentence. I didn't just say he was a hip hop head. I said he was a hip hop head, and he said he listens to Kendrick and he's a fan of Kendrick. That's the most important part.
Yes, and he is a fan of Kendrick.
So you're telling me if he's a fan of Kendrick Lamar, he doesn't know how Kendrick Lamar is as a rapper. You're about to sit here right now in my face and tell me that since Drake is the self-proclaimed fan of Kendrick Lamar.
I'm answering the question.
He's a fan of Kendrick Lamar. Wait, I have to finish my question. He's a fan of Kendrick Lamar, and he listens to Kendrick Lamar. And he said he's in tune with Kendrick. He didn't just listen to a few songs. He said he's listened to him. Like he's listened to his catalog. I don't know how much, but he's listened to something. You're telling me that Drake just doesn't know what Kendrick is about?
There's different sides to Kendrick.
Oh, wait, back then? What was the sides he had back then? In 2011, 2012?
It's the same thing as now.
No, the fuck it is not. Now you're just lying to me now.
No, look. I'm saying there's different sides to Kendrick, right? Just like how there's different sides to Drake.
Man, what was Kendrick talking about the systemic oppression of black people in like 2011, 2012? To the extent he is now. When was Kendrick talking about his relationship with his wife and his relationship with like
extent? So that's how I'm talking about extent. So because
those are different sides, bro. Those are different sides to Kendrick. Kendrick talks about a bunch of different shit nowadays. Like if you look at his whole catalog the last 10 years, he did
the same thing too back then.
Okay, what was he talking about in Overly Dedicated? Because I know it, because now you're trying to question me on what he talks about. I know his catalog. Let me see if you do. What was he talking about in Overly Dedicated? I'll tell you, he was talking about living in the hood, shit that happens in the hood, his experiences with women, his experiences with his bros, some violence, Section 80, similar shit. He dives a little bit into like not giving a fuck where you're from. If you're my homie, you my homie. He talks about his influences. He talks about his little bit of taste of not being broke anymore. And he talks about how like, I'm that guy, I'm that rapper, blah, blah, like songs like Rick and Mortis. That's what he was talking about that time. He wasn't delving crazy into no political shit. The closest thing he had to a conscious song was like High Power. And that was like, he just delved into it. Most of his shit was rapping and talking about the hood.
That's a good point. Let me ask you, when Drake said he's a fan of Kendrick, did he specify what type of Kendrick he was a fan of?
Well, guess what? Do you know what was popping at that time? Well, not popping in terms of
It's
Kendrick.
not about
It wasn't
popping.
But
When
no.
something
I'm
is
talking about popping
popping,
in Kendrick terms. Popping in Kendrick terms.
no, no,
For
no, no,
Kendrick at that time, it was popping.
no. That's not the angle I'm about to go to. When I say that's the popping. When I say popping, like I'm thinking when you say popping, it's what people like the most about Kendrick.
No. No, that's not what I mean. I was trying to clarify. It's like, what was the shit that he would go to first to listen to Kendrick? It was Section 80. It was his most recent project that was his best body
That's
of work.
literally what I just said.
Yeah, his best body of work objectively was Section 80. It was his most recent shit.
Okay, so
there's obvious what Kendrick is about on
it. The most popping, right? That means that anybody that listens to Kendrick Lamar in general, they're gonna say what you said about Section 80, right?
Yeah.
How do you know that that's what Drake was gonna say?
Wait, say that again.
Okay, so you notice how you brought up popping, and I tried to ask what you mean by that, and basically you said like if you listen to Kendrick Lamar, the thing you just said about Section 80, a lot of people would say that about Section 80, which fits into your popping point, right?
Oh, I just seen something too. By the way, before that, because you're arguing the whole thing about what Kendrick listened to. Hold up. Kendrick said that Drake was the first person outside of his immediate team to hear his debut album, Section 80. So this motherfucker listened to the whole album. That ends the conversation. Okay. So Drake knew exactly what Kendrick was about.
You can listen to an album without really fucking being like, okay, this is because you can listen to an entire album.
All right,
and
bro.
not
Look,
fully listen.
you can jump through the hula hoops, but you just okay.
I do the same thing.
You can look it up.
I can listen, dude. I listen to Scorpion and Views. All these albums
That's
from Drake
fine,
and
bro.
Kendrick.
But when Kendrick says, "I'll body your favorite rapper," I'll do all this shit. If Drake hears that and doesn't hear shit, he's an idiot, and that's his fault. That sucks for Drake. You can't blame that on Kendrick anymore. You can't sit here and act like Kendrick trying to hide his intentions or some shit. Kendrick is Kendrick. Drake literally listened to the debut. If I'm wrong, you can call me out on it. But I'm like, I literally just looked up Drake and Kendrick, and one of the first stories is how Kendrick had an interview talking about how when he and Drake first met, they clicked instantly because it was genuine, and that Drake was one of the first people outside of his camp to listen to his Section 80 album. So Drake knew what Kendrick was about. They clicked. Here's the thing, right? This is why I told you it was unfair to like ask about exactly what was said because we're not a fly on the wall. We don't know these people. Apparently, they clicked immediately when they were clicking and they were talking to each other. I don't know what they talked about. He could have talked about exactly who he is as a rapper. They could have talked about something other than rap. We don't know what the fuck they were talking about. So I'm not even going to question that. But Drake listened to that whole album because Kendrick showed it to him specifically. So I'm assuming Drake liked it because Drake said he liked Kendrick music. We know he listened to that album. If we're being very honest, you think Drake listened to that Section 80 album during the debut and just never listened to it again? If he said he likes Kendrick, I guarantee you he listened to that album even more. Regardless how many times he listened to it. Drake knew who Kendrick was. And if Kendrick dissed Drake, I can't use this as an excuse. Oh, he knew who Kendrick was because a diss is different. But Kendrick just always thinking, he always had this mentality, I can rap. I'm that guy. I'm a rapper. I'm blah, 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 blah. If he comes out and say, hey, I fuck with you, but hey, I'm a better rapper than all of y'all, Drake, you can't sit here and act like Kendrick is going behind Drake's back
to reveal his logic
him or some shit.
Wait. So by your logic, right? Because it's on a song, Drake should have known. Okay. So
no, wait. I didn't say Drake should have known that he was gonna drop Control, but obviously you can't.
No,
like that.
Not Control. No, not
just
that.
The type of person Kendrick is as a rapper, how he's competitive
Drake,
about this.
So
rap
you're
shit.
saying Drake should have known what kind of person Kendrick was by listening
as a rapper. I don't know how
as a rapper.
Yes, as a rapper. Yes.
So by that logic, right? Do you think Kendrick should have known Lil Wayne? All these people should have known who Drake was by his music, and not just Drake. A lot of rappers, they rap about things like taking your bitch, fucking your girl. So does that mean those rappers should expect their bitch to be fucked by the other rapper by this logic?
Personally, if you were to tell me to talk to Drake right now, I would not talk to that motherfucker, especially if I had a girl, because I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. Nowadays, Drake just fucks everybody's girl. Back then, Drake was a lover boy back. I don't know if you know Drake. Drake was a ladies' man back then. That's what he presented. He didn't present himself as a player. He presented himself as a ladies' man back then. I don't know if you know that.
No, not you. I'm talking about like these rappers, like people that are relevant or was relevant. I don't know. Look, right? Because and like a lot of rappers, including Drake, they talk about taking other people's girls.
Yo,
And what
when
we
did he say that in
imagine,
his early career?
wait,
When did he
wait,
say that in
wait,
his early?
wait,
Yo, when
wait,
was he talking
wait,
about that in
wait,
his early career? When was he talking about that in his early career?
wait. I'm talking about rappers. Look, I'm talking about like rappers in general, including Drake. A lot of rappers, they talk about things as if they're talking to regular people that aren't like that, right? That aren't big and
Wait,
famous.
wait, wait. You
They
can't say
they
that with
talk
Kendrick though,
about
because if Kendrick's
taking
talking
niggas'
about bodying
bitches.
rappers, he's talking about bodying rappers.
No, wait. Right. So they're saying you take like like these rappers, they'll talk about taking another man's bitch, fucking your bitch. They didn't say the person's name, so people assume that it's a random irrelevant person that isn't even a
That's your fault.
celebrity.
That's your fault for assuming that. That's your fault for assuming that, by the way. That's
No,
your
I'm
fault for
saying like
assuming.
a lot of
No, no,
people
no, no,
are
no, no, no,
going
no.
to
If you're
assume
thinking
that.
like that about Drake, that's your fault. Because if you listen to
So
Drake,
so
Drake,
so
Drake be
wait,
wait, wait,
wait.
Drake
So
be
okay, so
mentioning,
how
Drake
about
be
this? How
mentioning.
about
Wait,
this?
wait, let
This
me
is
explain
my
it. Let me
fault.
explain it. I already know what you're gonna ask. Let me
No,
explain.
no, no, no. I wasn't finished explaining.
All
Right?
right, bro. Because you're wrong.
Basically,
You're wrong already.
let's say, let's say, Baby Keem said, "I'm gonna fuck your girl." Who do you think he's talking about?
Motherfucker, I don't know, and I'm not gonna assume.
Exactly. You don't know. You don't know. So you're gonna imagine things in your
But
head
guess what?
because
That's a
if
very
he's
general
talking about a
statement.
specific
Wait,
person,
no, you can't use that. You want to know why that's not a one-on-one comparison? Fucking your girl could mean anything. If I say I'm a body your favorite rapper, what the fuck? That doesn't apply to no random person. He's talking about specifically rap motherfuckers. Specifically rap motherfuckers. And if he says your favorite rapper,
well, yeah, but that's because
wait. More often than not, somebody's favorite rapper is gonna be somebody good. Not just some random dude across the street, somebody who's good. So
no, but that's the thing,
let's
though.
not act like when Kendrick talks about bodying your favorite rapper that I'm better than your favorite rapper. He could
Kendrick
be
was
talking
not.
about anybody. He could be
Hey,
talking about a
hey,
million people.
Kendrick.
He's not.
Back when Kendrick was dropping these early things, he was not even in the same realm as Drake commercially.
But let's not
So
act
when
like
a
he's no,
rapper,
no. He was in the hip hop scene though. He was in the hip hop scene though. He was in the hip hop scene though.
wait. I never said he was irrelevant at that point. I'm saying that because Drake started out earlier in the mainstream than Kendrick, he was at the time he was at a different realm. So, but that's the thing about rappers, right? They're
I'm not gonna
in
lie. You
realms.
keep backpedaling.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. They're
You
in
first
realms.
started.
So
You first started. Wait.
wait.
I'll tell you
Oh
how
my!
you
I
back.
can't even
I literally
explain
can
what
just
I
tell you how
mean.
you
I can
back.
clarify.
I can
Can't
tell
even
you how you've been
explain what I
backpedaling.
mean, so I can
I
clarify.
can
What
tell
the
you
fuck?
how you've been backpedaling this whole time. You first
I'm
started.
not.
You
I'm
first
not.
started
You keep
saying, why
misconstruing what
didn't
I'm saying
Kendrick?
and make me
Why
want
didn't
to say
Kendrick
what I'm
go up and
saying.
tell him? Why
And
didn't he
you
go up
know
and
what
tell
I'm
him?
gonna
Why didn't he
say.
do
You
this?
know I'm right.
Then
You're
you
not gonna
said,
let me
after
finish
I
what I'm
said,
saying because
Drake
you know
should
I'm
know.
right.
I
You're
said
not
Drake
gonna let
should
me
know what
finish what I'm
Kendrick is
saying
about.
because
Your
you know I'm
reply
right.
was, how could
No, you're
Drake
not gonna
just know
let me
everything? He
finish.
didn't listen
You're
to every
not gonna
song.
let me
How's he
finish.
gonna know? Then
You're
I
not
said,
gonna let me
well, now
finish.
there's an
You're
interview where
not
Kendrick
going
says
to
he
let
showed
me
Drake Section
finish.
80. He showed
You
him all
won't
Section
let
80.
me finish
So
what
now
I'm
you're
going to.
going to like semantics
I'm
on
gonna
what you
say it
mean.
anyway because you're not gonna let me
That's
finish.
why I'm listening
Look,
now. I had to get off my point.
I'm saying this: rappers exist in certain echelons. I notice when rappers talk about other rappers bodying your favorite rapper, they're mainly like referencing like the people in their realm. Because that's why when
Bro,
you brought up a random
You
rapper
act
across
like
the
Drake
street,
was views
maybe
Drake.
Kendrick was talking about a random rapper across the street. He
No,
didn't
he
know
didn't.
he
He's
wasn't
talking about
friends with
anybody.
Drake
You
at a
don't get
certain
it. You don't
point.
get it. You
What are you
don't get it. No, I'm
talking
not gonna lie. You
about?
don't get it. You don't get it.
That's
He's
like
talking
that's
about
like some
anybody.
random underground rapper talking about he gonna body Playboy Cardi. Cardi
Stop
doesn't even
it,
know who
bro.
the fuck that underground nigga
Kendrick is not
is.
no
What are you
underground
talking
motherfucker.
about?
You act like Kendrick
They're
Lamar is
in
fucking.
different
Yo,
realms.
Kendrick
Why
Lamar
would
is not
Kendrick
Tech
talk
Nine.
about
Kendrick
bodying
Lamar is not
somebody in
hot.
a different
Kendrick
realm? You
Lamar
know
is
how
not fucking
delusional
ASAP
that
Rock.
sounds?
He's not one
You
of
know
these
how
underground rappers.
delusional that sounds? Why would Kendrick, who's not in the same realm as Drake, this is
Yeah. Keep going.
see look,
Keep
see
going.
look, when Kendrick made that album, that was before he even talked to Drake. Drake
What
listened
are
to
you
that album
talking about?
early
He
on.
showed Drake the album before he released it.
How do you think he made the album? He made the album before he met Drake.
If he met Drake in the same
He
time
made
span,
the album before Drake.
bro. All right,
You
you're
can
gonna ask me a
finish.
question. You're gonna ask me
You
a question.
can
I'm gonna answer.
finish an
You're gonna ask me a
album
question. I'm gonna
before
answer. You're gonna
releasing
ask
it.
me a question. I'm trying to
How
answer.
do you think albums get released?
I got
They were
you. I
made
got you.
first.
I got you. I got you. I got you. If he met Drake, forget Drake. He already met Dre at that point. So you need to stop pushing this dumbass narrative like Drake.
That does not mean. Does that mean that Kendrick's in the same realm or was at the same realm as Dr. Dre early in his career? What are you talking about?
That, but if he's co-signed by Dre, he can't be
Just
that far.
because you're co-signed,
you didn't hear what I said. You took what I said out of context. You took what I said out of context. You took what I said out of context. I don't give a fuck. You took what I said out of context. I didn't say he was the biggest Dre. Yes, it is.
That's what happens when you're not letting me finish talking.
No, because I don't want to hear. Because you said I didn't say he's as big as Dre. I never said he's as big as Dre. I never said none of that.
That's what happens when you don't let me clarify things.
Right. Just because I don't let you clarify, you're still going to be wrong, and it don't matter. But
no,
either way,
I'm not. No, I'm not.
You're wrong.
You don't know I'm wrong until you let me finish saying my full point. You don't know I'm wrong. You don't know. How can you know if I didn't say anything? How can you know if I didn't say anything? What are you talking about?
Nothing, bro. You talking about some underground rapper? If some underground rapper says they're gonna diss Playboy Cardi, that is not a one-on-one comparison. Stop acting like Kendrick is some underground rapper with no fans.
Section 80 was not made in the same year it dropped. Kendrick met Drake in a different year than the songs he made. He didn't meet Drake.
That's fine. That's not my point.
Didn't meet Drake.
You didn't get my point. 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 You didn't get my point because I never.
What was your point? What was your point?
If within the same span of him making Section 80, he met Drake and showed him it, how far is he from Drake at that point? He's not in the same lane, sure, but how far is he? Because you have to remember, you can't don't forget, Drake isn't who Drake is in 2011, 2012. He isn't there yet. He's getting there, but he's not there yet.
Drake was mainstream in 2011. He was mainstream.
He was
fully mainstream,
now, right? Unless you're gonna claim he's who he is now.
Thanks to Lil Wayne, Drake was mainstream so early.
Okay, that's fine. But if Kendrick had already met all these people, how far is he from them? And he's getting cosigns and he's getting.
That's why. And
that's why you cannot compare him to some random underground rapper saying they're gonna diss.
There's the middle ground and then there's mainstream. Kendrick was in the gray area.
He was in the middle ground. Okay, so he was on the path to being mainstream.
But he wasn't there. He wasn't in the same realm as Drake yet.
So when you bring up the dumb example of some random underground rapper saying that they're dissing.
So by my logic, when I said Kendrick was gonna murder your favorite rapper, he was talking about your favorite rapper in that realm. Drake
that makes no fucking sense. That makes no fucking sense. Why the fuck would he say
Drake?
I'm gonna murder?
When he made Rigor Mortis, he wasn't even thinking about Drake.
Who said he had to think about Drake specifically? Who think he had to drink? Who think he had to think about Drake?
Generalized statement, except there are exceptions to the rule.
You just yapping now. You literally going through every little.
He made a generalized statement. He didn't call Drake out on his name.
You're right. Exactly. This was a generalized statement. You can't get him out.
Generalized statement. He didn't call Drake out in his name on Rick and Mortis.
Wait, so you have to call somebody out of their name to refer to them? You can't make a general statement and just apply generally? Are you insane? Are you insane? Are you insane? Are you insane? Are you insane, bro?
It's either you throw shots or you call them out on their name. And
that is literally wrong. If you believe that,
and when you throw shots,
you're mentally not there.
People can dissect it and notice they might be talking about Drake.
If you believe that, you're mentally not there. I'm not gonna lie. If you believe the only way to call somebody out is if you call them out by their name or allude to them and dissing them, if you think that's the only way to generalize,
I never said that. I literally just said there's two ways.
But you just
I gave you two ways.
But you said no. You said those.
No, I didn't. I said call them out on their names or throw subliminal shots.
Okay, but those aren't the only two ways.
How are they not the only two ways? What other way is there?
Okay, but I never said that's a diss. I said Kendrick is saying I'm down with bodying anybody.
And I'm saying Sorry, your mic
only
was
means
cutting out.
the mid-tier rappers in his specific entourage. That makes no fucking sense. That literally, if you ask anybody that shit, they're not gonna agree with you. Like even Drake fans are gonna listen to you and be like, "We don't give a fuck and we don't even agree," because they wouldn't even care about that. But that's so stupid. I'm not gonna lie. If you think that anything somebody says, someone like Kendrick,
it's a generalized statement.
rappers, but those big rappers, nah, bro, I can't body them. I'm not gonna talk about. He doesn't give a fuck who it is. And if you think otherwise, then you misunderstand the whole song.
You misunderstood what I said. I never said Drake. Look, I never said Kendrick was like, oh no, I can't diss Drake. He's too big. I never said that.
Okay, no, take that back. I'm gonna take that back then. Then you're not saying that. You're just saying that he's just not referring anybody higher.
Because like in an argument, for example, let's say you're arguing with somebody and you're like, I don't give a fuck who it is. That doesn't mean that in your mind you're thinking about arguing with like Floyd Mayweather or some shit. You're not thinking about that. I didn't think
he said that. I didn't say he said that. I'm saying you can't. You hear me?
No, like what I'm saying is when people make general statements like that, they don't care who it is. They're not even thinking about a specific like entity. They're not.
Drake.
Because it's more of a mindset. It's more of a mindset sort of thing. Let's say you're arguing with somebody.
Thank you. You're actually making my point. It's a mindset thing. So it doesn't have to be applied to a certain person. It's the mentality.
It's a mindset thing, but people can break character. People can sometimes break character. People can sometimes break character. People can sometimes make exceptions. You can never be too sure. You can never be too sure.
Again, you can never be too sure. Stop fucking holding Kendrick accountable when you know you can't predict every single person's move.
I can't hold him accountable because he should have known that Drake's a human being and he thought he was.
So Drake should have known, based on how Kendrick rap, that Kendrick could do that. So stop using the same double standard. If you're gonna say Kendrick should have known better, then you have to say Drake should have known better. You can't just use that double standard and not hold it against Drake at the same time.
Should have known better. Why didn't
Drake should have known better? Drake should have known better. Drake should have known better. Drake should have known better. Drake should have known better.
Why didn't Kendrick choose to do this during the tour? Why didn't he choose? Why didn't he want to do it?
What the fuck are we talking about?
Why didn't he want to do it? Why didn't he want to do it then?
Because he don't want to feel like doing that shit. I don't know what you want to do. Just do everything at every moment.
Doing it? Why do you think he didn't feel like doing it?
He wanted to do it at the best possible moment.
Why?
Why? Well, why not? That's why.
Why did he want to do it in what you think is the best possible moment?
All right, bro. You're a YouTuber, right? If you have to make a video, are you going to make it at the most opportune time to get the most views and the most interaction? You're just going to drop it whenever the fuck?
So if I make a video dissing somebody, it's gonna be any time.
He didn't diss him. Stop lying. I'm not gonna let you say this shit again. He did not diss Drake. Stop lying.
Name drop Drake.
He didn't name drop. Oh yeah, he did name drop. Control. Are you talking about Control? Or are you talking about Rick and Morty? Which one are we talking about right now?
Right now, I'm thinking about Control.
Okay. So the point is, regardless of what you're doing, you're like mentioning someone's name.
I don't know if you were confused before. Like when I
I want to clarify.
Yeah, cause like what I mean was that whatever he said on Control, I'm trying to ask why didn't he want to do why didn't he do it during the tour?
Okay, imagine you and some dude are making a YouTube video. Would you go off topic of the YouTube video and then decide to do your own shit when you could just do it in a separate environment when it would actually make more sense and then get more views and then get more interaction and not distract whatever the fuck's going on? And by the way, you don't have a problem with this YouTuber. You just are making a topic about them or some shit. Because Kendrick never had a problem with Drake. He just made a reference to him in relation to a point he was trying to make, saying I'm the best rapper. Imagine I'm going to compare a tour to a duo live stream, like you're live streaming with somebody. Because, a live stream or like a tour is not like a fucking song, right? A tour, like, it's not like, okay, one track then next. Like, you're doing it live. I'm going to compare it to like a live stream or some shit. You're doing a live stream with somebody. In the middle of the live stream you just go off topic and start doing your own thing. Like, what are we doing? Like,
That doesn't benefit anybody.
That doesn't go one-on-one with my thing.
Okay, it's not one-on-one, but how close do you want us to get to this? Because we can bring up a better example.
I'm saying, basically, what I've been saying for the 100th time is, why didn't Kendrick, whatever he said on Control, why didn't he pull Drake to the side personally, man to man?
Yo, you don't gotta do this. Yo. Here's the thing.
Why didn't Kendrick choose to do it? Why didn't Kendrick choose to do it? Why didn't Kendrick choose to do it?
Okay. Oh wait.
At that time,
was Control only talking about Drake?
Just like how Kendrick chose to give Drake Section 80 early, right? Personally, why did he choose to give Drake this the topic of his Control shit, right? Whatever he said on it, why did he say this to Drake's face? Why didn't he choose to say this to Drake face to face during that tour? Not in public, not on a YouTube video with views on it, face to face, privately, just like how he did with Section 80. He gave Drake the shit early, personally. Why did he choose to do it with the we're rappers? I'm competing against you. I love you, Drake. I know you brought me on your tour, but at the end of the day, nothing's changed.
Does he have to tell him that part? Wait, if you're a rapper, what other rapper do I got to tell you how competitive I am? Why the fuck as a rapper?
So why didn't other rappers do the same thing? Why is Kendrick the only one that did this?
Because they not. At that point, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to answer you like that. They're not built like that because nobody's doing that shit. No one's doing that shit other than Kendrick. I'm sorry. No one has done that shit other than Kendrick.
So okay. I'm sorry that I have to ask this because it's not as relevant. Why didn't Tupac do this? Why didn't Biggie do this? Why didn't Nas do this? Big L, Big Pun,
Biggie and Pac died. Biggie and Pac died because of their beef. They had beef.
No. I mean, like when they were friends and still making their own music.
Stop.
They literally hung around each other and freestyled with each other.
They had beef. They're not gonna tell each other, "Oh, I got beef with you now." What the fuck?
No, that's not what I mean. Tupac and Biggie didn't always have beef. They were friends.
No, I know they didn't always have beef. They didn't
always have beef.
I know.
Look, forget about their beef. What I mean is, early in their career when they were friends, why didn't Tupac just say, "Hey, I'm better than you, Biggie. We're friends, but I'm better than you, and I'm gonna drop this project to get more sales than you."
Yo. Wait, drop this project to get more sales than you. Are you comparing that to
It's an example.
Okay. So first of all, he don't gotta tell him shit. And I'm not wait, I know what you're gonna say, but I'm saying he don't gotta tell him shit in both ways. In the way as in he don't have to because it's his choice, and he don't have to because it doesn't make him a bad person because he doesn't have to.
Why do you keep saying that? I never said he had to do anything.
No, and I just clarified he doesn't have to in both ways. In the both of the ways of him having the free will, in the way of you trying to push it on Kendrick by saying he's a bad person because he didn't do it. I don't think you have to do that either.
I know that.
Okay, then don't say
there's no point. There's no point in telling me who has to do what. I never said anything about having to do anything.
You heard me? No, you didn't. Did you hear the second thing I said? Because the first thing I said in the same sentence was the two reasons why. You have to pay attention to the second reason. Because the first reason, I'm just saying it to clarify. He doesn't have to because he has free will. That's the first reason. The one you keep mentioning, which I don't care about. The second reason, which is the important one, you're saying the whole point against Kendrick is because Kendrick didn't tell him straight up, like have a one-on-one conversation with him about how he operates as a rapper and what he might do and how he looks at him as a rapper, that he's immoral for that. And I'm saying he doesn't have to do it to even be moral. It doesn't make him immoral to not do it. Now, and I'm going to say the same thing for the Pac and Biggie thing you're talking, this weird scenario where it's like, you don't have to tell somebody you're dropping an album at the same time. So, granted, your intention matters. Now, if Pac were to be like, I'm dropping this album because I don't want you to get sales, that's fucked up. But if he's dropping the album because he wants to compete and he wants to set up a narrative that like will give buzz, that's different. And can he tell him? Sure. But In this case, in the case you're telling about, that directly affects his sales. So I think he should.
No, wait, want to know why I asked the question? It was right after you
I don't know why
said these. No, because this was right after you said these rappers are built like that.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I brought up Tupac and Biggie, because you're not gonna tell me Tupac ain't built like that neither.
I said these. Wait, Pac is fucking dead. I'm talking about rappers around Kendrick.
I know, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Wait, it does matter, because that's what I'm talking about. Why?
No. That's not why. No. Look, what I'm saying
you can have you can have your point then, because I'm not arguing against that. I'm saying, I'm not saying Kendrick is the only person built like that of all time. I'm saying he's the only person in his generation built like that. You don't have to argue with me. I'm not saying there's people in other generations.
Okay. Look, right. So I'm saying did these old school rappers do what Kendrick did?
They don't give a fuck if they got beef with you. Those
you don't know. You don't even know. You don't even know.
What's up? All right, then tell me how they did it. Then tell me, give me proof that they didn't do it the way Kendrick did it. You have to give me proof they did.
No, I'm asking
don't give me
you.
Proof. What do you mean? I don't give a fuck about them. You're the one that brought them up. I don't give a fuck about them.
Of course I do. You said these rappers are built like that, as if that's
generation.
You said these rappers are built like that.
If you stop twisting my words,
Meek Mill that's from the streets is not built like that. Meek Mill that's from the streets.
As a rapper, yo, get the fuck out of here. Stop lying. I'm talking about as a rapper. I don't give a fuck about who shoots people.
As a rapper, okay.
Meek Mill's a rapper. Shoot people. Why the fuck? Wait, why the fuck?
You're telling me people like Meek Mill are not built like that as a rapper? So let me ask you this question: was Tupac built like that as a rapper?
Yes. What the fuck?
So what made you think that? What did Tupac do that proved he is built like that as a rapper?
He never backed down from no type of smoke, and he's always taking shit to the chin.
That has nothing to do with what I meant.
Okay, then what do you mean? So clarify.
Because you're like I've already clarified it once. I'm not talking about, oh my God, beef this, beef that, niggas dying this. That's not what I'm talking about.
Here's the thing. I brought that up because you started bringing up the difference, the beef between, or like the issue between Pac and Biggie. Like that's nowhere the same.
No, I said that before the issue.
Before the issue, there was no issue. Before the issue, there was no issue. So there's nothing to talk about.
Just like how you're saying when Kendrick said he'll body your favorite rapper, right? There was no issue. Kendrick had no issue with Drake, right?
Yes, and he didn't necessarily say he had an issue with any rapper.
Look, wait. So what I'm asking is, right? Forget about all that other beef stuff between Kendrick and Drake. Rewind back to when Kendrick and Drake were friends, right? And you're saying that as a rapper, you're supposed to do what Kendrick did, where you're supposed to have that mindset of, I'm gonna body your favorite rapper. Drake should have known that about Kendrick if he listened to Kendrick's stuff. This is before the beef between them. Before, not during. Before, right? And then I asked you, why didn't Meek Mill and all these other rappers do what Kendrick did, where when they were friends with a certain rapper, maybe someone like Drake, why did they do this with Drake? I'm gonna body favorite rapper.
Because they not like that. Because they not like
They're not like that. Okay. That was your answer.
They're not rapping like that. That's not how they rap.
That was your answer. Wait.
Okay.
That was the answer to that question. Let me finish. That was the answer to that question. That's why I brought it back to, so let me talk about rappers that maybe are built like that as a rapper. That's why I brought up
the second you went to Pac and Biggie, your point was invalid, because I'm not talking about dead motherfuckers.
How is it invalid? How is it invalid?
I'm trying to say, stop.
I don't know how.
If you're gonna counter,
I don't know anyone that did what Kendrick did. I don't know what anyone did that Kendrick did. I don't know.
You don't actually care
nigga,
what
I'm
say.
asking
Say whatever you want
you.
to say.
I'm
Man,
asking
fuck what you asking me. You countering some shit to me. If you're gonna counter some shit to me, make it about
I'm
what I
about
said.
to counter it. I have to ask you
Counter
these
it
other questions
realistically.
first. It
When I no
connects.
fuck that
It
because
connects.
I
You
don't
don't even
got
know what
that.
I'm gonna counter
No,
you with. You don't
I
even
already.
know
You
yet. I'm
literally
gonna
brought up
tell
fucking
you.
Biggie.
I'm
I don't
trying
need
to
to
get
know.
to
I
it.
don't need
I'm
to
trying
know.
to get to it. I'm trying
Man,
to
fuck
get to
Pac.
it.
Yo,
You
fuck
don't want me
Pac.
to get
Fuck
to it.
Biggie. Yo,
You don't want me to
fuck
get
Pac.
to
Fuck
it.
Biggie. I don't care
You
about
don't
them.
want me to get to it. You don't want me
Yo,
to
I don't
get
want
to
you to
it.
get to Pac
You
and
don't
Biggie
want
because I
to
don't give
get
a
me
fuck
to it.
about them.
I'm confident. I know what I'm talking about.
Oh my
I have to
god,
get to
yo,
there
yo,
first.
I don't care. I'm not gonna lie, I don't
All
care.
you
Cause
got to do
I don't
is
care. I don't
answer
care.
the question.
Yo,
Holy
wait,
shit.
I don't fuck Pac, fuck Biggie. I'm trying to let you know, but you don't want to hear it. I'm telling you, when they not built like that, I'm talking about the rappers in this generation. So if you bring up Pac and Biggie one more fucking time, I'm just not gonna answer you because that's what you're doing. I say one thing, you
That's
go
what I'm
back somewhere
saying.
else. Why the fuck we going back to 1990, 1980 when I'm talking about rappers in Kendrick
I have
generation?
a reason, nigga. I'm trying to get to that
Well,
reason.
guess what? You can have your reason. Have it. I don't care because that's not
You
what I'm
don't
talking
gotta
about.
care, nigga. It's not about you, nigga. The world doesn't revolve around you, nigga. Fuck is you
Okay,
talking
then no,
about?
wait. Then say you're not countering me. Say you're just saying your own shit.
I am countering it. I know
Oh,
I'm
you better. All
countering
right,
it.
then talk about the rappers in this generation because I don't give a fuck about Pac and Biggie right now.
You don't gotta give a fuck, nigga. The points don't give a fuck about your feelings. Answer the fucking question.
All right, let's see what point you have to bring up that has anything to do with what I said.
I have to get to it, or it's definitely not gonna make sense to you.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so like I said, I know you were only talking about the newer, like this, Drake's generation of rappers. I know that. I know you weren't talking about Tupac and Biggie. I know that. But what you said about how Kendrick is built like that, unlike these newer rappers, right? That implies that you mean also that the older rappers are built like that. So I'm trying to ask you, right? Remember before Drake and Kendrick
That's not
beef.
what that means. That's not what that means. By the way, that's not what that means.
What does it mean then? If these new rappers aren't built like that, doesn't that automatically
built like
mean the older rappers are built like that?
Are built like Kendrick. Well, they could be built like that in their own way, but just because I say Kendrick is built. Okay, you gonna let me finish? Like I ain't even saying anything yet. When I say Kendrick is built like that, that doesn't automatically mean I'm comparing him to old dudes that were built like that. They could be built like that in their own way. Because if you look back in history, I don't remember any rap song like Control specifically mentioning a bunch of rappers that somebody's worked with and saying, I fuck with y'all, but I'm better than all y'all. I don't remember any song like that from any rapper ever. That's just because that's a new thing. That was a thing that, like, I think it was the first time someone did it was when Kendrick did it. Unless I'm wrong, but if I am wrong, no one really knows.
No, you're wrong because now you are talking about knowing hip hop. That
okay, then I want to know. I'm curious.
You're wrong because a lot of old heads, a lot of people cultured in hip hop, they're gonna say rap is a competitive sport.
Oh my god, bro! I don't care. If you're gonna tell me I'm wrong, tell me the exact song. Tell me the exact song.
Care about your feelings.
Tell me the.
You don't gotta care. Exactly. You don't gotta care. That's why your mic is cutting out.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Let me finish.
Ask the question. You don't want to answer. Give me the song now.
Nigga, I am answering it.
No, just give me the name of the song. I don't need to hear a long form. Because you said I'm wrong. I just want to know. I'm curious. I don't even care if I'm right or wrong. If I'm wrong, that's cool. I want to know the song so I can see where Kendrick might have
What I just said is more about talking, not making a song. It's more about talking about hip hop, talking about the culture, talking about the culture. That's what I said just now.
Okay.
A lot, yeah. So basically, a lot of hip hop heads, they're talking about how rap is a competitive sport. You're supposed to think you're the best. You're supposed to be competitive. You're supposed to think you're the best.
Every rapper takes it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but does that also mean that the old school rappers did think like that?
Some of them did, some of them didn't. It's always going to be some that did, some that didn't. Every generation.
Okay. Do you think Tupac and Biggie thought like that? Do you think?
I think more Biggie and Tupac because I think Pac wanted to reach people and change more than he wanted to be like the best rapper. But he thought, I think in Pac's head, him reaching the most people made him the best rapper of them. I think that's how he looked at it. But he cared more about reaching people. And by the way, I think Kendrick changed later on a little bit too to be more like this, right? That's why he went from songs like Rigor Mortis and shit like Section 80. He made To Pimp a Butterfly, where he was still rapping his ass off, but he was more concerned about making change. So I think the answer is some people do, some rappers don't, and very often, especially rappers who are in the same cut or the same cloth as Kendrick and Tupac, they might change or they might alter. And it becomes clear in their music because rappers like Kendrick and Pac, they speak through their music. So I don't think there's one right answer to that. I don't think there's one right answer to that.
So yeah, like you brought up How to Pimp a Butterfly. Did he have the same like I want to change the world mindset in Damn?
Oh, we can talk about Kendrick's journey. I'm big on that. His whole you know the savior complex he kind of had. Not just the savior complex he had. It was kind of the culture put it on him. Like so much of the culture will looked at him as that guy to save hip hop almost, right? He didn't want that.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It took him till Mr. Morale to get that. And Damn was where he was conflicted, where he wanted to make a change, but he's addressing his flaws. All of the songs he seems damn near depressed, conflicted. He's going back and forth. He's addressing his flaws as a man. And then 5 years later, with Mr. Morale, he's like, hey, I'm done being a savior. I need to save myself. So he went through a journey of going to that savior and feeling like it, to realizing and getting older and mature that he can't save everybody. He can't be right to all this other stuff. So, yeah.
So in Mr. Morale, like what conclusion did he go? Like what is his stance with himself? Like what is he trying to do with his music then? If he's not trying to be a savior, what is he trying to do?
He's gonna be himself.
And whatever that means. Who do you I was gonna ask, who do you think Kendrick
the last song of Mr. Morale, the whole hook goes, I choose me, I'm sorry. He's just gonna do him. He's gonna do what he thinks is best for himself. Whether that means make music, not make music, like he's gonna do what he thinks is the best for him. Like, and again, I don't know Kendrick Lamar. I can't tell you what that means, but it means he's gonna do whatever's best for himself. But.
Do you think he was okay? In Mr. Morale, do you think that was the same Kendrick that was in Section 80 or not?
Fuck. Remember, he was in his early 20s. He hasn't just grown as a rapper. He's grown as a man.
So, yeah. So in Section 80, right? Do you think that Kendrick was just trying to be himself in Section 80?
Yes.
And you
have to realize that a lot of the shit Kendrick talks about in his later work, he didn't realize these things until he got older and actually got famous. And then he looked back at his life in the hood, because in the hood, that's all he knew. And once he got out, he could look at it in retrospect. It's different when you're inside the box, living in the box, than when you're outside the box looking in.
Okay, so, and just to clarify, you don't think Kendrick, like Section 80 Kendrick, is the same as Mr. Morale Steppers Kendrick?
Not exactly. Of course, the foundations, you remember you're talking about hip-hop culture, the foundations always stay the same. I think the foundations of Kendrick have always been the same. But the things that turn Kendrick left and right, these experiences change a lot of different aspects of
him. Okay. All right. Because I was bringing that up because literally this year he's saying, fuck the big three, nigga, it's just Big Me. He was like, fuck the big three, nigga. It was as if he did not believe there was a big three or whatever. J. Cole wasn't even trying to come at Kendrick like that. And he said, fuck the big three.
Yeah, I think this isn't confirmed, but the most popular rumor is Schoolboy Q reached out to Cole and was like, hey, bro, you don't want to be a part of this. We don't have an actual issue with you. And then Cole backed out because of it. I don't think Cole... I think Cole has that same mentality where he thinks...
Which is weird. Which is weird because when J. Cole made his diss track, he didn't say anything disrespectful. So why does Schoolboy Q do that? Because
Q reached out to Cole and let it know, like, with you and Cole, we know you two are cool. We know it won't get personal. But with us and this guy, we not really cool with this guy. This guy's not really cool with us, so we don't even know where it's gonna go. So we don't want you to be a part of this, wherever this goes.
But that's like, I don't understand that, because J. Cole
Well,
is
a lot
not
of people do.
defending. No, like that's the thing. J. Cole is not defending Drake when he made 7 Minute
No,
Drill.
I know. He's not defending Drake necessarily, but Cole doesn't have a problem with Drake, by the way.
Yeah, so
But
like why? So
also
like
specifically Kendrick, okay. I remember academics of this shit, and it was funny as fuck because to me it was a perfect analogy. Kendrick did a drive-by on Drake's car, and Cole just happened to be in the car. He was shooting at Drake, but Cole just happened to be in the car.
No, that's ridiculous. No, I mean, look.
I know. It's funny. I know it's like dumb as fuck, but like that's to me that's the funniest analogy because it's low key true. Like I don't think Kendrick gives a fuck about Cole. I think just because the thing that Drake did to piss him off happened to also be with Cole, that Cole just got caught in the crossfire. And remember when Cole said all that shit about Kendrick, like, oh, your first shit was like your classic, last shit, blah blah, you're whack, blah blah. Kendrick never said anything back because I don't think Kendrick doesn't take it that serious. So he never cared that much to begin with. He didn't have a problem with Cole. His problem was with Drake. Cole just happened to be there.
And couldn't Kendrick just respond to J. Cole for fun and they go back and forth for the sport
right?
of it?
But there's a time for that.
Without involving J. Cole into whatever.
You're right. But at the same time, that's weird. Leave it for a different time type shit. I don't think that makes sense. You're focusing on this one guy. Why the fuck are you going to play like, I'm having a friendly beef with this guy, and then I fucking hate this guy. Like, just they can do it a different time. If Cole really wants to go back and forth with Kendrick, they can go back and forth their own time.
If it's about a different time, isn't that the same for Kendrick and Drake? Couldn't they have beefs at a different time?
Well,
why did Kendrick
Kendrick thought it was a valid time to do it now? I can't tell you why. A lot of people speculate it's because of first person shooter. Maybe it wasn't first person shooter. Maybe it was some other shit. I don't fucking know. We can only assume why he decided to finally.
No, it was first person.
He didn't call Drake. He didn't call Drake out his name, but saying "for all your dogs getting buried" is the closest Kendrick has ever come to calling him out of his name since Control. So it was called out of his almost pretty much.
It was basically like, I'm surprised you made this feature request. You know we got some shit to address. It was about first person because Drake, he wanted Kendrick on the song, and Kendrick is like, who the fuck do you think you are? You do realize we're beefing, right? What are you talking about? Put me on your song.
Yeah, but you know the reason Kendrick has a problem with Drake, right? This goes to what Kendrick actually has a problem with Drake about. Kendrick, from what I know, especially because how the beef unfolded, you notice how all the shit from Control never got brought up? Specifically from Kendrick. Kendrick never brought up anything in the beef that had anything traced back to Control. So it confirms my theory that Kendrick's issue with Drake it's evolved past the whole Control shit. The main issue, which has been obvious on wax, Kendrick thinks Drake is a culture vulture and he exploits the culture for his blackness when it's relevant to him. He's black when it's beneficial to him, but he's copying anything else and doing everything else when it's beneficial to him. That's Drake. I think that's Kendrick. It's pretty obvious that's Kendrick's biggest issue with Drake. And it makes sense because Kendrick's character, the joke is Kendrick is a hotep. I don't think Kendrick is an actual hotep, but I get why people call him.
No, I know. And
like him having that type of mentality, it makes sense that Kendrick would have an issue with Drake doing all that shit. So I don't think that has anything to do with Control. The reason why Kendrick don't want to accept the verse, I just think Kendrick doesn't like the way Drake presents himself as a person. And Drake hasn't been doing that shit this whole career. He did it. He started doing that. I'm taking everybody's trends and I'm fucking over everybody when I signed them to my label. He started doing that shit in the mid 2010s, like 2015, 2016.
Okay. So with that, right? My first thing, before you brought that up, right? My first thing is, what did you think? Like, isn't it a better time to diss Drake when you drop another album? And I think Kendrick is dropping an album this year.
Yeah, Kendrick don't give a fuck though, right? If Kendrick cared that much, if Kendrick cared about his sales, he wouldn't go into hibernation for 5 years if he really cared.
Okay, so like he didn't care about sales. So then
Kendrick cares about whatever he cares about. And I don't think sales is one of them. I think image is one of them. I think he cares about his image. I definitely think he cares about his image.
Yeah. But then, like, why did you ask me my YouTube point? Wouldn't I want to drop a certain video at the perfect opportunity time? So why did Kendrick do it with
he wants people
control
to
if he
hear
didn't
it.
care about views?
No, he wants people to hear it. He doesn't care about the money involved. He wants the hip hop culture to be tuned in when he drops it. He wants the
What
best.
if
He
you
wants to drop it.
believe that? Yeah, but wouldn't they be more tuned in if Kendrick did this on his own album instead of going on a feature?
I think it was a build up to Good Kid, Mad City too. And Good Kid, Mad City, Good Kid, Mad City was one of the most influential albums of the whole 2010s. Him making an album like that, talking about where he came from, his experience, him seeing one of his his friends die in front of him, like all that shit. I think he was building up to that album for a while. That was his magnum opus at the time.
So like you're saying, like he used control as part of his marketing strategy.
Yeah, a little bit. But his real prelude, his real quote unquote build up was the Heart Part 3. No, Heart Part. Yeah, it was one of the hearts that came right before Good Kid, Mad City. That's when he announced his album release, and that whole The Heart song was him talking about him coming up and like, I'm gonna save hip hop with this album. Motherfuckers are talking about this, talking about that. I'm gonna talk about some real shit on my album. Are you gonna be ready? Like, oh, are you gonna let hip hop die on October 27th? Because that was when he was gonna release the album. So that was his real build up. But Control was a whole nother thing. Again, Kendrick, I don't think he cares about sales in the ways that like a mainstream person would care about sales, so that he can get the most money and the record label can sign him. I think he cares about sales because sales means people are listening, and he wants people to listen. Listens equals sales. So he cares about his shit being heard, which kind of ties into sales. But I think he cares more about people listening than anything.
Yeah, I never imagined Kendrick as someone that needs the money that bad. I don't believe he did it for money neither. It's more about publicity, like views.
If he did something for money, he did horrible, Mr. Morale, because that was one of the worst commercialized albums. Like, bro, half that shit I can't even bump in the whip. Like, he clearly doesn't care if you're gonna bump his shit on the radio.
So if Kendrick is dropping this year, right? And do you think that like that was and this track battle, that's a part of the marketing strategy? If
you say that, right? But what if Drake never dropped First Person Shooter?
If Drake never dropped First Person Shooter, I don't think this diss track battle would have happened. The biggest song on that album would have been the one with Yeet in it.
You might be right. No, I might be wrong just because when the what's it called, First Person Shooter happened, regardless of First Person Shooter, Future and Metro were always gonna beef with Drake because that was a different story. Yeah. And if you remember, Kendrick ended up starting the beef because he had an opportunity on Drake and Metro's album because Drake and Metro got a problem with Drake now too. I mean, Future and Metro got a problem with Drake now. So it's like, shit, you got a problem with Drake? Shit, I got a problem with Drake too. He just dropped a song that he tried to get me feature on. Fuck it, let me diss him. I don't know. Again, I don't know how the conversation happened, but I can only assume it couldn't have been too far off. Like I know damn well they just didn't happen to get together, and then we're all coincidentally beefing with Drake. No, they all knew they had an issue with Drake, and they probably about it. Yeah.
So when Kendrick dropped Mr. Morale, and he's being himself. Would you think like?
Oh, he talked about Drake. He name dropped Drake in that album, but it wasn't the way you think. I don't know if you know.
I mean, I bought that album years ago, but I kind of forgot a lot of songs on it.
He talked about how he said when he saw Kanye and Drake on stage together, he was confused, and then he said, "I probably got some." Yeah, and he said, "I got more growing up to do." He was basically acknowledging that, like, why do I got a problem with this dude Drake for so many years, and Kanye and Drake have a problem, and now they're cool. Like maybe I gotta look in myself to fix myself if I can't see why that happened. Now, granted, maybe things changed. Maybe he thought he could be cool with Drake. Maybe he never tried it. Maybe he did. We don't fucking know. But we know Kendrick has thought about being cool with Drake, or like not being cool, but like at least like dropping his beef with everybody type shit. Maybe the culture was too much for him. Maybe he saw what he thought Drake is doing to the culture and exploiting blackness. Maybe that was too much for him to drop it. I don't know. I can only assume.
Okay. So would you agree when Kendrick was being himself in that album that
rugged.
like he was being himself. And is it a fact that Kendrick he do you think it's a fact that Kendrick he was still, because he changed a little bit, but the foundation is still there, like you said. Do you believe that deep down, his true self, he had a real genuine problem with people like Drake, and he felt he had to do something about it?
Yeah, I do. I do think so.
Okay.
I think two of his most solid foundations as a person. He's competitive, the same way he was competitive about making it out the hood and getting his mom out of the hood and helping his dad. And he's competitive about rapping, that competitive energy, and his strive to make change. Kendrick has always wanted to make change. And Kendrick probably sees the thing that Drake is. He sees Drake as the mirror opposite of him in the culture. He thinks Drake exploits the culture. He thinks Drake doesn't give a fuck about the culture.
Okay.
He thinks Drake don't care about his blackness unless it benefits him. He sees Drake as a polar opposite of him in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I bet in his head, he feels like he can do something about that and that he should do something about that.
All right. Because the thing is, Drake isn't the only guy that you might think or think is a fact that Drake has done questionable things. Future, people like Future have done the same thing. Why?
In terms of their relationship with black culture?
No, but there's other ways you can be a questionable person.
But that's specifically what I'm talking about, because that's what I think Kendrick cares about. Yo, because here's some people. It's what was one of the biggest controversies on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? That Kendrick made a whole song about sexual abuse and talked about how traumatic it was, especially in black families and all that shit. And then he had Kodak Black on the song.
Yeah, that's
a lot of people's first reaction was, why the fuck do you have this guy on a song? And we know what this guy's had. We've heard of him doing. Kendrick, one of the things Kendrick had in the album is that people make mistakes. They're products of their environment. And he's like, who am I to tell someone they don't have a chance to redeem themselves? The same way he talks about how, who am I? And I cheated on my wife. I did this. I did that. Kodak, the people were saying, and I agree, that's probably what he did. He used Kodak, not using, because I think he's cool with Kodak too, obviously. But he probably looked at Kodak as someone who's a product of his environment and somebody that people might look at and not forgive and never give a credit or benefit of the doubt to, when he thinks that shouldn't be the case. Now, whether he's true or not, I'm kind of iffy about that. I don't 100% agree with him, but I get what he's trying to say.
And with what he was trying to say, it's still strange to me. I still think it's wrong of him to not do the same thing for Future, because a lot of things going on in hip hop that's destructive has nothing to do with Drake. It has more to do with people like Future. People like,
what is Future a product of?
Et cetera.
What is Future a product of? This is really important too, because this connects to exactly what Kendrick has a problem with Drake about.
Future. Huh?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Future, he's more of that one guy. He's borderline misogynistic. I'm not calling him misogynistic.
No, not what he is. What does he come from?
Where does he come from? Oh, he comes from the streets.
Okay. When somebody has destructive mentalities because of their environment, I think Kendrick has a lot of empathy towards those people. He's a product of that environment as well. And Kendrick isn't the standard. Kendrick is an anomaly. Kendrick isn't your average person from the hood. He made it out, and he's more conscious and more progressive than a lot of people. Kendrick isn't the standard, and he knows that. When he probably sees someone like Future who does portray those values, he knows that he's a product of his environment. Now, Drake, he doesn't necessarily do it the same way, but does he not promote it with the people he associates himself with?
So yeah, he does. Yeah.
And where does Drake come from? We know where Drake comes from.
He was a child actor. I don't believe
he was a child actor We know where he came from though. Like it's not like speculation. There's a lot of info about where Drake comes from, how he grew up. The only struggle that was similar to a lot of these people's struggles is that his dad wasn't that present, but he ended up coming back to. But he grew up middle class. He was a child actor. He grew up in Canada. He wasn't in the trenches, and he's promoting that lifestyle even though he knows better.
See, Kendrick is empathizing with people like Kodak and whatnot. That's more of a personal thing for him. I don't think that's gonna make it any more right or wrong.
Correct. Yes, I agree. That's why I told you I'm iffy about the Kodak thing. I get where he's coming from, but I think there's a line you have to draw. So I don't completely agree with Kendrick, but I'm telling you where he probably comes from. I can't confirm it, but from what we know about Kendrick, there's a chance that that's probably how he's looking at it. It's more important the intention. Drake knows damn well what he's doing. When he gets on a song with Sexy Red, you know how many people don't listen to Sexy Red, but everybody listens to Drake, and they see the one black woman that Drake is working with that represents black women in hip hop, and it's Sexy Red, and the shit that Sexy Red's doing. That's the image that he's putting out of it. It's shit like that. It's shit like that. That
probably. Well, I think that right. Just because you're from the look, I know you didn't say this. None of this came out of your mouth. It's more of something that I would say regardless. But whether you're from the hood or not, you're not above being criticized for something that is right or wrong. And
you're correct.
And because you're from the streets, right? Drake knows what he's doing. I do agree. He knows what he's doing, but he's basically doing what these street dudes are doing, only he's not from the streets. So Kendrick shouldn't just be going at Drake. Kendrick should have tried to treat Future like he treated Kodak. I don't think it was treated Future.
He does. We don't know if he does. Because again, it's not like
I've never seen Kendrick go at anyone's neck like this but Drake.
Well, Drake mentioned his fiance and then mentioned his kid. So that's
because when Meek Mill made his response track, right? Kendrick, you next. When all these other rappers responded to Control, I don't think Kendrick responded back. He left it alone.
He didn't, because he didn't give a fuck about it.
He didn't care. I think that if Kendrick is going to be himself, shouldn't you, isn't it like a thing to keep that same energy for the most part and only occasionally break character because we're all human.
Well, his energy, no, here's the thing, right? If you notice, everyone that really, really, really responded to the Control verse weren't even mentioned, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Everyone that dissed Kendrick, because there were a few rappers that dissed Kendrick, everyone that dissed him wasn't even mentioned in the verse, by the way. Mm-hmm. That was the funniest joke. That was like the funniest joke of the whole thing, where everyone that was mentioned in the actual Control verse either didn't make a response, or if they did make a response, it wasn't a diss. It was just like mentioning it and then moving on. Everyone that dissed Kendrick were people that Kendrick didn't even give a fuck about.
Yeah, no. And Kendrick evolved over years as a person.
Like, okay, if A$AP Rocky dissed Kendrick Lamar in 2012, Kendrick would have responded. But he didn't. J. Cole, he responded, but he didn't diss him. He's like, I forgot what song it was. He was like, I was fucking with this girl one day and I walk into a room and she's playing that Controllers. And I'm like, oh man, you falling for the hype too? Like, he didn't diss Kendrick, he just mentioned it. Like, he kind of just threw it like a little some clever bars about the whole situation. He knew he it's like he understood the assignment type shit. So he is keeping the same energy. He just didn't get anything. Drake was the closest person on that list to responding, and he didn't respond in a rap. He just kind of like dissed him super like passive aggressively in the interview. And from there, Kendrick, I don't know what he thought. I'm like, okay, you're not gonna diss me on the song, but you're gonna say shit about me in the interview. I'm not gonna diss you. I'm just gonna him to make a, which I agree, because you're not even. I want beef. Drake was implying that if you want beef, then say it, which is not what Kendrick said. But I think the whole thing wasn't enough for him to throw anything back like a diss track. And again, just because Kendrick is trying to improve himself, he's been very open about being a flawed person. So like, If Kendrick wants to be peaceful and then something triggers him to not be peaceful, that doesn't mean he's not being authentic. Things can trigger you. Like, that's just how that works. And again, one of Kendrick's fundamental character traits, he's competitive.
And I say, and what I mean is that, like, you just brought up, it's a flaw. It's for something to be a flaw, it has to be incorrect. Because it's not, it has to be incorrect, right? If there's a flaw about you,
it can be overcompensation too. Flaws can also not just be something completely incorrect. It could be overcompensation of something that is correct. Does that make sense?
But that overcompensation is like, it's tainting what is correct.
Right.
That's
okay. That's
like, in certain situations, if you're a victim, but you do something wrong or illegal, you're gonna be charged with the person that puts you in danger. So as a victim, for example, you have to act like a victim through and through, or you're gonna be seen as wrong too, right?
Okay.
So it's like that. So I'm saying Kendrick is flawed. That means, so it's like with this thing, right? I don't understand why
I'm about to pull up to where I'm about to be at in 10 minutes, so I'll be out in 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So like with Kendrick being so flawed, I think in this beef, both Drake and Kendrick are incorrect, right? They're both wrong in their own ways. Because
but Kendrick has acknowledged everything he's seen himself wrong. I think that's a big difference too. Mr. Morale, a lot of it was just him dissecting himself. If Drake went on if Drake made an album or made a song talking about his flaws and how he's done people wrong that he used to sign and maybe fucked up their careers, or the woman he's womanized, or what's it called, fucking the way he's exploited the culture, that I think maybe Kendrick may be cool with that if it's genuine to him. I think doing something wrong is one thing, and then not taking accountability is another thing.
Yeah. So, but like, a lot of people can take accountability and be fully aware of their flaws, but it's more about what are you doing about it. Like, if I'm trying to fix myself, as a person, the last thing I'm thinking about is doing a rap beef.
If I think Mr. Morale was a healing thing for him, so that's why he wasn't rapping beef. He wasn't doing anything.
I'm not sure if it's healing, because after Mr. Morale, right, he's still doing the things that make him a flawed individual.
He's cheating on his wife. I don't think he's cheating on his wife anymore. Because,
well, I'm talking about as a rapper, right?
Well, as a rap, most of that album had nothing to do with him. Only a little bit of that album had. I think the only aspects of that album about him as a rapper was just him having that savior complex, which I don't think he has anymore. I don't think he's trying to save everybody anymore. Granted, he wanted to hyper focus on Drake. That isn't saving everyone. He has a specific issue with one person. That's a different story.
Maybe he's not cheating on his wife anymore. But I'm talking about in regards to his beef with Drake. What leg does he have to stand on? If he's a flawed individual and he knows it, and he's talked about the traits of him that make him a flawed individual.
He thinks Kendrick, everyone is flawed. Everyone is flawed.
Everyone is flawed. So,
right? So he's saying, when Kendrick says he's flawed, there's levels, right? Just because two people are flawed doesn't mean they're flawed in the same way. Kendrick is very clear on, I'm flawed, but this guy is way worse. That's how he looks at it. And I agree personally, because there's a lot of shit Drake does where I'm just like, Some people agree, some people don't, whatever, right? So the leg that he would have to stand on is that, I fucked up, but two things. One, I've taken accountability, and two, this motherfucker's doing horrible shit that's affecting our culture. He's doing all this shit. He has these weird fucking instances, like whether it be with women who are young in age, him fucking over people, like him being a backbiter, a backstabber type shit. He has that whole issue that I have a problem with, and he doesn't want to take accountability, and he's still acting in that way.
So why is Kendrick doing that? Why is he saying, I know I'm wrong, but this guy is worse? How is that his business? Well,
that's not his angle. But I'm saying, like, you're saying, what leg does he have to stand on?
I don't think Kendrick would have an issue with Drake if he does the same exact things he does. The thing is he's saying he doesn't. Not he's saying, but like he just doesn't, because there's nothing out there saying that he has weird interactions with 18-year-old girls or underage girls, or like fucking him exploiting the culture in a way that Drake has very clearly done. Whether people say he has good intentions or not, that's not for us to decide. Fucking him promoting those lifestyles or promoting artists that specifically appeal to that lifestyle to get like clicks or whatever, or him. Oh yeah, the whole thing where he says he runs to Atlanta. Like Drake is a big fan of just getting the most recent Atlanta artists and just doing shit with them. And then regardless of whether he stays fucking with them or not, or he abandons them, he doesn't care, because he does not give a fuck about Lil Baby anymore. But, you know, like things like that.
Okay.
I don't think you being flawed discounts you from criticizing another person. You can still criticize another person even if you're flawed. I don't think that stops you from criticizing anybody. It's just, if you criticize somebody for a very specific thing that you also do, it's like, what? You know? Like if Kendrick talked about fucking Drake cheating on girls, what? Like, bro, you just
do you think
cheating on your wife.
So like now, like, do you think Kendrick is wrong for having a problem with Drake's culture vulture-ness from what he claims, right? You have like, do you think he's right to do that?
Yeah, I think he is. Well, what do you mean right? Wait, what do you mean by right?
Right, yeah, morally.
Like you think wait, what, morally? I mean, if he is correct, I do think it's morally fucked up in Drake's position to do something like that.
And is it really confirmed Drake is really some kind of culture vulture?
Here's the thing, right?
Doing business with people.
This is why when I specifically got on this call with you in the beginning, I didn't mention any of that shit, because I was keeping it to shit that I can explain as a fact, right? When I was hammering the whole, he goes to high school girls' basketball games, he kissed a 17-year-old on camera. You notice how I kept everything shit that you couldn't really argue with? You could argue what it meant, but you couldn't argue with the fact itself, right? I stuck to that. I avoided talking about shit like this because, to me, in my opinion, it's pretty clear that this dude is a culture vulture, regardless of his intentions. Mm-hmm. But you can take the benefit of the doubt. You can really play devil's advocate, and I can only say I disagree. But a lot of people agree he's a culture vulture. Enough to where when Kendrick mentions it, it resonates with a lot of people, including me. Not personally, but I see it because I get what he's doing.
Yeah, because Kendrick is a flawed individual. So if he's resonating with people, they must be flawed in a similar way.
That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. No, wait, explain what you mean, because I have no idea what you're trying to say.
Because like you're saying, a lot of people agree. That does not really make you right. A lot of people can agree with a lot of things.
I didn't say that means right. I think he's right because I think he's right. That's why I think he's right.
So,
but also, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, when something is right, a lot of people will also agree because it's right. Sometimes mass opinion is based off of what we have, and sometimes mass opinion is based off of what we fear or what is popular. I think a lot of people agree with what Kendrick says about Drake's culture vulture shit, because a lot of people see it.
A lot of people see things that I don't think it's true, because Drake is just doing business.
What happened to Black Boy JB?
Drake, look, Drake is just doing what every other rappers are doing. He's just hopping on waves.
No. He's not doing what every other rapper. What is Lil Baby?
He's just hopping on waves. He's just hopping on waves and following trends and trying to keep up with the youth.
Okay, that's fine. That's what he's doing specifically in the culture. You can't say that's what everybody's doing. Wait, Lil Uzi Vert doesn't do it. Lil Uzi Vert does his own thing. Young Thug doesn't do it. Young Thug does his own thing. Lil Baby doesn't do it. Lil Baby does his own thing.
No, like they all follow. Like they're not.
They are the trend. No. They are the trend. What are we talking about? They are the trend. They are the trend,
right? Because they're not clones of each other, but they have certain commonalities. Right? As in, Lil Uzi Vert is a part of the SoundCloud generation.
Okay, sure. But no, it's different.
There's a specific SoundCloud sound.
Let me explain that. There's a difference between you coming up in that generation and you rapping like that because that's how you came up and that's the influence you have. Drake has already come up. He already had his influence. Now he's hopping on new influences that come up. That's
Why do you think
way
he's
different.
doing that? Because if he doesn't do that, he's gonna fall off. A lot of old heads
Oh,
are the
that's
same
really,
way.
really, really. Wait, you believe that? That's a really hot. That's a really bold take from a Drake
Because
fan.
like
Because I
even
don't.
Kendrick, like his vocabulary, the way he speaks, it's changed because he's trying to like he's basically because how he
Nah,
sounded
I
so
disagree.
far.
Nah, I disagree. Nah,
No,
I
like
disagree.
literally the way he talked on Not Like Us, for example, he wouldn't talk
That's
like that
California. That's
10 years
California.
ago.
That's West.
No. Like that's like the
That's West
California
Coast.
culture and the accent, all that. That's not what I mean. I mean like you notice on the internet, there's these trends going on with how people talk, how like certain phrases, popular things. It got nothing to do with California or Toronto. It's like an
Okay.
internet thing. It's like an
Okay.
internet. Even like streamers, like streamers and YouTubers and just regular people,
Yeah, that's
they've
fine. That's fine.
changed how they talk and all that.
What is it that you're attributing to Kendrick? Because I'm about to pull up, so I want to know what you're trying to attribute to Kendrick right there.
That's gonna be the Kendrick. Drake is doing what all these other rappers are doing. It got nothing to do with
Okay.
culture, none of that. It's basic
No, it
business.
does. No, it does. When he hops on like a Afro beat shit that was never popping before, but is popping slowly in Africa and then slowly coming over here, and then Drake decides to hop on an Afro beat thing and then never do it again. Because when's the last time Drake did an Afro beat song? It's
When was
been
the last
years.
time Kendrick collaborated on a pop song?
What
That's
is
what
pop?
Drake was also saying too. Kendrick was
Stop,
forced to
stop. I
go
know
on
what
these pop
you're saying.
songs.
Okay, relax. Yeah. He wasn't trying to take someone's sound. Okay, when he hops on a Taylor Swift song, does he start singing about like teenage
What
girls and
if
like
Drake?
or
What if Drake either was like there was a
no, you're not.
suggestion he does that, or he was
No,
forced
but
to do it?
okay, but that would be literally a lie because he doesn't do that. Because when he goes on a Taylor Swift
And
song, because
like
he
and
has,
like on what's wrong
he
with
just
that
raps. He
though?
raps.
What's
He
wrong
raps
with
the
what he
way
was
Kendrick
doing
Lamar
though?
raps.
Why does
Yo,
it?
listen. No, you don't get it. I'm not gonna lie. You're attributing shit that makes no sense. When Kendrick hops on a Taylor Swift song, he raps exactly like Kendrick Lamar. He just happens to be on a Taylor Swift song. When Drake hops on an Afrobeat song, all of a sudden he has a fucking accent.
So like
How the
on
fuck
those
did he develop a
songs,
new accent?
so like
And
like
how does he
on
develop
those
new
songs,
vocabulary?
do people listen to the song and be like Kendrick killed it? I don't hear
Yo,
that.
no. That's not the point, which is fine because I already pulled up. But as long as I can get that last point off, there's a huge difference. And if you can't tell that difference, I don't know what to tell you. Kendrick hops on a Taylor Swift song. He doesn't change the way he's doing it. He's just rapping the same way Kendrick has always rapped, but he happens to be on a Kendrick song. Drake hops on a Wizkid song or any Afrobeat song. He's not doing the Drake shit. He's doing something completely different. He's just doing the shit that they're doing, but in his own version. And then he never does it again after that until
Yeah,
it
that's
dies down.
called
If
adapting
you
to the
don't see the
song.
difference,
And look, it's never too late. Whenever you're free, if you want, you can keep
yeah,
doing. It's all up to you. It's
yeah,
not too late. I'm not gonna do nothing. Nah, like you're good. You're
yeah.
good.
All right, yeah, all right. But all right, nice talking to you, bro.
All right. Where we left off at was that oh yeah, I was bringing up how Mr. Around the Steppers. It was like you and I was bringing up like how he kind of found himself more. He was healing and all that. He was being himself more, and um, so it was kind of like that. And he even like it was controversial, but he featured Kodak Black on the song because um he wanted to, like he saw some good in Kodak basically,
He
and
wanted to share his perspective through his music, regardless of how people looked
yeah,
at it.
that too. And I was saying like, how Future's street too, right? He's basically street too, and Kendrick didn't
Mm-hmm.
have that same energy for Future,
Well, how
but
do
he
we know that?
associated with Future and went on his song
Ah,
and
how do we know that though?
collaborated. How
Here's
do
the
we
thing:
know that?
Does Future have sexual assault allegations?
Huh?
Does Future have sexual assault allegations?
No.
Kodak does. I think that's the difference there. Because if you remember, a lot of Mr. Morale, one of the specific topics he talked about was that, and specifically in black families. I think that might be the specific person he was trying to put on there to send that message to. I don't know, but if that was the case, it wouldn't make sense to put Future on that. And just because he doesn't have somebody featured on the album doesn't mean he doesn't feel that way. He can't put all 50 plus. I don't know how many people he feels that way, but he's not just gonna put all of them on the album. Just because they're not on the album doesn't mean he doesn't necessarily feel that way about them.
But like, well, I mean that's true. But why I brought up Future is because he actually gave Future a chance, and he collaborated with Future on Future and Metro's album.
He collaborated on that before that too. They worked before.
I think that song was before, like, you know, the Hibernation Kendrick was on. The light
It was right
da.
after him. No, yeah, it was that too, and then he was on the Mask Off remix.
It was on the oh yeah, it was on that one.
So
was
they've
Mask
worked
Off?
together before. Yeah, it was Mask Off.
Was it Mask Off like Damn era?
Yeah, it was right after Damn, like pretty much. Yeah, and the Black Panther album was a year after Damn too.
Yeah, that was like
the lead single for that came out late 2017. King's Dead. So yeah, he's worked with Future before. Granted, I don't think him not having Future on the album doesn't really mean anything. I think that wasn't the message he was trying to send. I think Kodak Black, especially because what he was doing recently at that time, and maybe he saw something in him that related to him. I don't really know. It really just depends. I can't tell you exactly, obviously, what he said or what he wanted to do with that, but I think the general message is understood about that.
Well, I also remember you were saying how, there's Kendrick has grown up more throughout his music. So the kind of Kendrick we saw in that era, the Damn era, and all that other stuff, like in the middle of the 2010s, it's not the same Kendrick. It's not exactly the same Kendrick that brought Kodak out in his most recent album, Mr. Morale.
I think he wasn't as far as he was, because I remember the direct comparison I made was him making Section 80, who he was at Section 80 compared to Mr. Morale. That's, to me, two completely different people. Him, let's say, from Damn to Mr. Morale, I think Damn specifically, especially too, that's the process of him getting to who he is in Mr. Morale. Damn, the whole album is him, damn near half the album is him feeling conflicted about people, about himself, about morals, about religion. It's him challenging himself and challenging the things he's been led to believe since he got pretty much famous and now is able to express himself and not have to worry about paying rent or living in the hood. He can just focus on himself and expressing his thoughts, and that led to a lot of stuff, I'm guessing. And that led up to all that confliction and all that turmoil in him that led to the album like Damn. And then the 5-year hiatus he took, and he admitted on the album he had writer's block for 3 years. So he was trying to express himself, but he couldn't, and he was struggling through that too. And then all the shit was happening in the world. So there's a lot of change that's happened specifically from Section 80 days to now. And I think Damn is just part of the process of him getting there.
Okay. And okay, so now we're back to Kodak, right? So you said, almost like you said Kodak, he did sexual assault, right? Like he had something to do with that.
He has a case. Yeah, he had a case on him.
Well, I think that Kendrick is being hypocritical, right? Which, if we're gonna call, if we're gonna criticize some of Drake's bars because it didn't make complete sense, right? If the angle Kendrick is kind of going at is, all these things, and Kendrick didn't do this and that and the third, but Kendrick, there's no evidence that Kendrick is assaulting women and whatnot. So what Drake said is this and that and the third. And you said there's there's certain other kind of evidence that alludes to things. Wouldn't you say that by that logic, him supporting, right, bringing a sex assault person onto his album, and then years later he didn't even remove it from the album. He didn't go on Apple Music and remove it from the album. Because this and that and the third, wouldn't that allude to some things Drake said about Drake assaulting his wife or whatever?
Drake?
About Drake. Wouldn't that allude to the things Drake said about Kendrick assaulting his?
I'll tell you why it doesn't. One, Drake didn't even take that approach because we knew we wasn't going to hear that approach, because that could easily be flipped on Drake. So Drake is not going to use that. That's the first reason. Drake has people in his camp who have sex trafficking charges, who have murder charges. They're in his camp. So that's the first reason he won't use it, because it could get flipped right on him even quicker than it could get flipped on Kendrick, by the way. That's for Drake, he's not going to use that angle because he knows better. Second, it's not like he's endorsing Kodak's lifestyle. Unless you think for some reason he's endorsing his lifestyle, which I don't think Kendrick is. It doesn't seem like he is. I don't know if you know anything about Kodak. Kodak is fucked up, man. Like when he's on and off drugs, in and out of jail, his childhood. Kodak had a fucked up life. And I think a lot of that Mr. Morale album, which is one of the reasons why I don't think Kendrick cares about commercial success, because half that album is just black trauma. Like you can't really play that on the radio or like bump it in the car half the time, right? And I think Kodak is one of the living embodiments of a lot of black trauma that Kendrick is trying to convey on the album, regardless if it's positive or negative, right? Because you see the negative side of that. I looked up the specific case. He had a sexual battery charge in 2016. Like, so he has that, and he has like a few weapons cases. He has a bunch of other shit, and it's like his question that he kind of lays out there is who do we decide is worthy of redemption? You get what I mean? Like who deserves the chance after doing shit? I don't know if he gives it. I don't know if there's a definitive answer in the album, but I know that's like something he plays with in terms of a concept. He did that in To Pimp a Butterfly too with Michael Jackson. Like, did Michael Jackson do that shit? Like, he questions that too. And I think Kodak Black is another example of that. So I think him using Kodak Black and associating with Kodak Black to put, because he probably sees some of himself in Kodak, not because of the sexual assault shit, but I mean just because of how he grew up, like in the environment he grew up in. But obviously Kodak was more involved. He sees some of those traumas in him too, and he thinks that he deserves an outlet to speak regardless. So I don't think that's the second reason I don't think that like that could be used against him, because it just doesn't make sense. Because he's very clearly talking about how sexual assault is bad, like all these things are bad, and he's never claimed to do it unless you want to just throw it on him because you assumed he'd do it. Like that's a different question. But it's like it's different when you're using it for an artistic vision. And if you disagree with that, that's fine, because it is controversial, right? That's not something I could really question. It is a controversial thing to do, but it doesn't really. It's not. You can't really connect it to Kendrick has done shit like that, so he's trying to make people feel okay. Nah, that kind of destroys the whole message of Mr. Morale if you were to take it that way. But yeah, that's why I don't think it makes sense to take it that way.
Well, that's in regards to what Drake can do. I'm not saying Drake could have.
Okay, no. I said in general too. Yeah, I meant in general. I don't think if you take that as Kendrick like doing it because it's like a projection of who he is through Kodak. One, there's no proof of that, and two, like narrative wise, it wouldn't make sense on the album that he put him on.
I don't think it's more of Kendrick projecting. It's more like how and this is something I don't like about a lot of people. You know how if one person does something bad and you associate with that person, even if it's something as little as a business thing like a feature or a picture, people now are gonna think that you're around this person, you're not away from this person, you must be sort of like this person and whatnot.
Right.
That's what I mean. And it's kind of like
I don't think you should. I think it depends on how closely associated you are. I think it depends on how closely associated you are. That's like saying Drake used to work with Diddy, so that means Drake had to be involved with the Diddy shit. I don't think that makes sense, because Drake was involved with Diddy, like all the time. You know what fucking song? I don't know what it was. A song off If You're Reading This Is Too Late. It was a Diddy beat. Diddy showed him the beat, and then Drake just took the song. Like they've worked together before. Now I don't think they're that close, because I don't hear that much about Diddy and Drake. But for me to be like, oh, they've worked together at some point, Drake was part of them Diddy freak offs, like that. Nah, I'm not gonna do that, because I think that's stupid.
Difference is that Kendrick didn't talk about Diddy at all in this whole beef. It wasn't any bar.
Diddy, forget Diddy. I'm making an example as Kendrick Dakota to Diddy and Drake. I'm saying like that's both stupid. It's stupid to do both of them that way, because like that's the way that's the difference between that and when Kendrick says you have you have a pedophile in your camp.
If you just happen to work with somebody that does some shit like that, that's one story. But if let's say in Drake's case, when he has like Baca in his camp, it's not like he just associates from time to time. He claims Baca. Baca's in his crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you can start trying to associate. Okay, if this guy's done something, how the fuck you have him in your crew, right? If Diddy was part of Drake's, okay, if Kodak was part of Kendrick's crew, like he was with him on the tour, right? Not the whole tour, but he was with him on a few days. But after that, I've never seen Kendrick with Kodak. I mean, I'm guessing they're cool, but like he's not like part of his entourage. He's not like living to him day to day. Because I bet if Kodak was living with Kendrick day to day, he would have no cases, right? Because he wouldn't be able to live that lifestyle that Kodak lives. But the point is, it's not like he's living with him. He claims him as part of his crew. He endorses all of his lifestyle. Kendrick and Baca, Kendrick mentions Baca all the time. Like he'll randomly mention Baca. He's always in pics with him. He's always in his entourage. Same thing with Chubbs and all of them. That's different. Then you can fairly associate shit they do to the person they're hanging around. Because you're the top dog. You're the fucking person running the shit, and you're allowing these people in here. I think it's fair. It's not fair to say that they're automatically guilty, but I think it's more than fair to question the person in question, which is Drake, about why he has these people around, knowing their history.
Yeah.
And you could say about Kendrick's, because Kendrick's camp, like J-Rock, Schoolboy Q, those are people I'd consider who were in his camp. If Schoolboy Q was out here raping women for 10 years, I'd look at Kendrick like, did you know about this? You were in TDE. That was your bro for 10 years. Like, were you endorsing this shit? So I think it'd be fair in that case too.
But the weight behind that is, and I know that Kendrick is trying to dissociate from whatever image that he was probably made to portray during his damn era and even before that.
He just didn't want to be looked at as like some perfect savior. That was the main thing he was trying to do. He like it was kind of torturing him internally because he's not perfect and he doesn't look at himself as a savior. He thinks he's just like everyone else.
And but it's the fact that he still made the mistake of he shouldn't have actually tried to portray himself as that in the first place. So it doesn't matter if he disassociated from that.
Yeah,
he
that's
still
fine, but I think that's kind of unfair to just hold that against him because he had good intentions the whole time. He wanted to make change, and he realized that he couldn't make as much of a change as he wanted to, and that probably tortured him from the inside.
Yeah, and there's
things I think that's a pretty low way to go about it. Like to just be like, oh, he just shouldn't have never done it. Like I feel like that's a really fucked up way to go about it. If you were to question it,
yeah,
it's
no.
like, yeah, so it's like, I mean, you could say that, but I'm not gonna take it serious because I feel like that's just like a very negative way to look at it.
But then there's things Jake probably did when he was 23 that he probably wouldn't have done now that he's 37 or something. But we have to hold that against him.
Yeah, but the things we're holding against him is him kissing minors. The thing we're holding against Kendrick is the fact he wanted to save the world. I think those are two different things. If that's what
Some
you're
of
trying
those
to compare.
things, it could be equally as a big deal because when you're a
It's not
celebrity and
okay.
people
One
listen
of them
to
is
your music.
okay. One of them is clearly worse than the other. We're not gonna argue this. There's no. I hope
I
you're
don't
not gonna
think
try.
so.
So you
I don't
think
think
okay?
so
You think
because
okay? So you think wait. So you think Drake being, let's say, how old is he? 24 or something? I mean, whatever he is in his mid
it was
20s.
23 at the time, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
23.
23. You think Drake, bring like having that 17-year-old girl on stage and then kissing her and then finding out she's 17 and then doubling down saying she got nice tits and then kissing her again is worse than Kendrick in his late 20s thinking I want to make a change. I think I can change the world, and then him failing at changing the world. You think those are equal in terms of
Feeling
like
like changing the
morality?
world is not as bad as how you go about changing the world or attempting
Well,
to change the world.
how do you think he went about it that was bad? When I say Kendrick failed at changing the world, I don't think he did a bad. I think "To Pimp a Butterfly," in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful pieces of work in music. But I just don't.
It's
I
one
think
of
he
these
realized.
things.
I just don't think. I think what he realized when I say he failed, I'm saying he realized he couldn't reach everybody. That was what I mean when he said he failed, because he wanted to change the world. Right? He's released "To Pimp a Butterfly" in 2015. It's been almost 10 years. I think it's made some type of change, but it probably was never the change that he had in his mind when he made that album, which is why I say he failed. So I don't think when you compare him failing at making a change that because he made a change, he impacted the culture, but he didn't make the change that he wanted to make. I don't think that's as morally bad as Drake kissing some underage girl on stage. Like
Well,
I don't think
there's
those are terrible.
there's multiple layers to how it was bad. You're only talking about the layers that don't damage your perception of Kendrick. But there's
Okay,
other
okay,
layers.
let's talk about the layer. Let's talk about the layers that do then, because I'm now I want to.
Okay, so the layers that do that. Okay, so basically, right, when you portray yourself as a leader and you're this public figure, this celebrity, and you portray yourself as a leader, and you're impacting people like you just said, and you're also helping people out, etc. Even if it's not in the way you want, right? When you then go ahead and let people know that okay, you don't want to be this person anymore. You know, whatever reality or delusion they might have had of Kendrick, which wasn't Kendrick, because that, you know, like you said, that's not really who Kendrick is. That was just his image that he was trying to portray so he could help people.
No, it
It
wasn't an
wasn't
image. Okay, when you
Kendrick.
say it's an image, I don't think Kendrick was like, I need to put out this image that I want to change the world.
It's not like
Kendrick,
anything fake. It's not like
no,
Kendrick
I
being.
know. Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure that he wanted to change the world. So that's what he portrayed in his music. So that's what people looked at him as, and not just that.
Mhm.
People agreed with him. I heard the shit. Me, one of the being the people included. So I'll speak on this from personal experience. I heard songs on To Pimp a Butterfly. I heard that album. I heard the mix. I'm like, damn, this guy's really saying some profound shit, in my opinion. And he really how old was I when I first listened to that album? Like 14. And I remember I was being blown away at the time, being that young and hearing something like that. I can say personally, he helped me get better grasp about things in this country, and I bet he's
Mhm.
helped so many other people. But
Yeah.
again,
And the
like
thing
I
is,
said, that's
like
who
the
he
main
was at
thing
that
with
time.
that is more like when you then tell people this is really not you. It makes it
He
can
didn't say this is really not him. It's not like he
or
didn't
like
want
he
to be
doesn't
that
want to
way.
be like that no more.
No, he's saying he doesn't want to be a savior because he's not a savior. Like he can't
Okay,
save
yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
That's just an
yeah.
objective fact.
Basically that.
It's not him changing and then giving up in terms of like he could have changed the world, but he couldn't. He's admitting the fact that he's not God. He's not like Jesus. He's not
Okay,
like
yeah,
the
but the
people
thing
that he's
is, it's the
trying to
fact that
personify.
he admitted it so late in the game
What is
after
okay?
he
So what are you
already
trying? I
helped
don't get what
so
you're trying
many
to.
people.
I get what you're saying. What
And
the
then
fuck are you trying?
like the thing with the layers is like why it's damaging is because when you do that to people, they feel disillusioned, and they're like, "Dang, man, this
Okay,
was you."
let them get disillusioned. That doesn't take away from anything Kendrick has said before. It's just at the end, the things that lead up to Mr. Morale. I'm just a human, right? I might say
Yeah, and
profound
so is
shit. I
Drake.
might say profound shit. I might say shit that
Yeah,
changes a lot of people. But at the end of the day, I have my own flaws, and if I don't make sure that I'm good, how can I help everyone else? Type shit.
and that's what I
So
mean. Like,
I
really,
get what
he's
you're saying, but like,
human.
how are you? Like,
He's
I think
human.
I think this is a really weird conversation we're having right now because you're trying to pick apart and like throw shit at Kendrick because he went through something in life and he had to like adjust himself.
And there's
Like, I
things
don't.
Kendrick
At the
has
end of the
done.
day, if somebody looks at Kendrick Lamar as a savior, that's not Kendrick's fault. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's not Kendrick's fault. Like, if
Like, it
Kendrick,
is like he made it his fault. He turned it into his fault.
okay, that's fine because he said he failed at something that wasn't realistic to begin with.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
I don't
where
think
he went
I
wrong.
me personally, I don't think he failed because he changed a lot of people. But in his eyes, he failed, and that's really the only person's opinion that matters because he's the one making the art. We can have our opinions of that, and again, it's not like some shit where like he was undercover racist and he didn't give a fuck about black people, and then now he was trying to fake.
That's a
That
whole,
would be okay.
that's a whole
That would
different
be a negative way to go. That would be like, okay, that's fucked up.
negative.
And
Yeah,
that's
definitely negative.
oh,
But it's
but
more
the
like
shit you're
when I
saying is
say
like
that, it's
what
because like
I feel like the shit you're saying is nitpicking at who he is as a person. That's what I feel like what you're
people
doing.
like to nitpick Drake too.
I'm sorry, he
People
kissed a
nitpick
17-year-old.
Drake.
He kissed the underage girl on stage. That's not nitpicking. I'm sorry.
They nitpick it. I'm saying he wouldn't have did that now that he's gotten older and smarter and
I
wiser
hope
and
so. I hope
fair
so.
in his ways. That's why we've never seen that again. We've never seen
We
Drake.
have seen him in his mid-30s texting 14-year-old girls saying he misses her and like talking to her, giving her advice about boys and stuff, and asking her what kind of boys she
That's
likes.
not as crazy to me.
That's not as crazy, but it's still weird. It's still weird. So he's
He's
definitely
just giving her advice. He's not manipulating her into following it.
we don't know what the fuck he did. All we know is what the there are messages out there, and those are the only messages we actually know
And
about. The one of him
yeah,
saying,
and like how do those messages get out there then?
okay,
Did
so
she
Millie
just,
Bobby Brown.
leak
Okay,
it
so
and
there.
say, hey, Drake's a creep? Is that what happened?
No, he didn't. Okay, so the way it went around, it was kind of weird the way it went out. Millie Bobby Brown, like, kind of, she posted one thing, and then on an interview, she was talking about how they talk all the time, and they both say they miss each other all the time or whatever. People noticed it and were just weirded out. Millie Bobby Brown never called him a weirdo, But again,
Yeah,
that doesn't.
exactly. That's what
Okay,
I was.
but wait, listen. I'm not about to let you do this because nobody gives a fuck what a 14-year-old girl thinks. If a 14-year-old girl's a victim, it doesn't matter what she says. So let's take her out the picture. It's as adults what we think about it because we're the ones with the like, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not about to let you try and lean on a 14-year-old girl's opinion or some shit to like brush it off.
Where do you think younger people get advice from? Older people.
Wait, you think? Wait. As a kid, oh my god. When I was a kid, you would talk to people either of your age or a few years older.
It depends on what you're doing. And plus, a lot of kids, they like doing adult shit, and their opinions.
That doesn't mean they're adults. Let's stop right there.
When I was a kid, right? When I was younger, right? If my friends gave me advice, right, and I hold them to it, when we get older, they give me entirely different advice. Like they didn't just say the opposite.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay,
that's why you don't ask.
I'm not gonna lie. That's
advice.
all irrelevant. That's all irrelevant. You're asking me how did we find out about this shit? Millie Bobby Brown just said it nonchalantly, and when people on social media, people like in general heard that shit, they're like, "Wait, what?" Because if you're a normal person, you're gonna have questions about why the fuck Drake is texting Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
No matter how much you want to normalize it, a normal person.
A lot of people have dirty minds.
About
a lot of people have dirty
mind is crazy. Dirty mind is crazy. I'm sorry. There's dirty.
Yes, it's a dirty mind.
All right, maybe you're thinking that, but I'm not. I'm just thinking it's weird because of the age.
No, like literally a dirty mind. It's literally the same as if like you eat a banana and someone thinks you're gay.
All right, bro. That's not the same thing. That is not the same thing. That is not the same thing. It is.
Any adult that for any reason has a
conversation. Are they related?
That doesn't matter because people who are
it matters. Oh, that shit matters. There's so many context clues that matter.
There's so many people in families that still get, weird things happening to them.
I know. Okay, but just to assume that is weird. To assume that if an older person in the family is talking to a younger person, and just to assume that's dirty thinking. Because who knows if they're not just talking to them like that's your nephew. You want to see your nephew, or you're asking them about school. Like
difference is though, there's people that think about it dirty. There's people that think about it dirty, but
that's fine. And that's the thing. I think it's dirty if you're trying to.
When they think about it dirty, they don't say anything. But then there's the people online that they always gotta spin narratives and make everything
online.
It's like everything is pedophilic. It's like everything is pedophilic.
Here's the thing. I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna ask questions if you're in your mid fucking 30s sending messages.
You can ask questions, but look what's going on. There's a whole controversy around it.
Yeah, that's not just asking. Fucking weird. If you don't think it's fucking
weird, when you
ask
a question, you get your answer. Okay, then you be quiet and move on.
What's the answer?
Down on something.
What's the answer? What's the answer then? What's the answer? You think Drake is gonna be
like, Drake did nothing weird with this person, and people should just move on. He didn't force her. He didn't manipulate her. He didn't say, "Shh, don't tell nobody we texted. Don't tell nobody nothing." No, Drake talked to her, her parents, everyone around her. They have no problem with him. It was a little exchange. They moved on.
Little exchange. You don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Who says they know what's in the messages? We don't know all the messages. We don't know what the fuck's going on. Optics matter. Bro. You were trying to sit here and talk about the optics. No. You're trying to sit here and talk about. The optics of Kendrick Lamar. Stop. I don't care about the parents. I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
But they're adults and they literally are around her.
No, you think that? Wait. So you're saying that they read every message they've had with Drake and fucking?
Yes. Why wouldn't they? They're her parents and they're celebrities.
I'm fucking lying because you don't know shit. You can't make that claim and you don't know shit. You can't make that claim and you don't know shit. You can't make that claim and you don't know shit.
It's a common thing. Parents check on their children.
But is she a common chick, or is she a common girl or whatever? Or is she like a famous
a lot of famous people are actually regular. They got famous.
A lot of them are, and a lot of them aren't. Who are you to say she's either one or the other? You can't make an assumption.
There's either famous people that have talent in something that make them famous,
assumptions.
Or there's people.
Stop making assumptions.
No, literally, like literally.
You're assuming how her parents are. You're assuming how her life is.
Here's an example. Kai Cenat took a picture with Kanye West's daughter, and everyone's calling him weird. What is Kanye West's daughter famous for? Being Kanye West's daughter.
Yeah. Try again. Nobody thought that.
I looked on Instagram.
I see it. But it wasn't as big of a deal. It wasn't that. I don't care.
Go on Instagram.
You
All right, bro. I went. All right, bro. God damn. I said okay. We're done. Okay, we're done with that. I said okay, cool. He said that. But was it as big of a deal? 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 No. Okay, thank you. It wasn't as big of a deal. You want to know why?
That's not as big as Drake. That's why.
That's not okay. That's not the only reason why. You're fucking crazy if you think that's the only reason why. You're crazy if you think that's the only reason why. Tyson at that time was either 20 or 19. That's the first part. And second of all,
no, like the picture was
recent. That's fine. Cool. He was 20 or 19, which I'm not saying that makes it right to be with whatever, but I'm saying like context is important. And he wasn't sending messages, I miss you, and giving advice about girls. They took a picture because they're both famous people that know each other.
People can say that and doesn't mean much. Drake probably
stop playing, bro. All right, bro. Go text a 14-year-old girl. Go text a 14-year-old girl and tell her you miss her. That's normal, right? Just tell her that. Fuck it now, right? Because you're saying there's no problem. Fuck it, just say it.
It's because he hasn't seen her in God knows how long. That's it. There's nothing else to it. It might look weird. I admit it. It looks weird. That doesn't mean that's not what it is. That doesn't mean it is what it is. It looks weird.
I'm not saying he did anything, but I'm saying that looks fucking weird.
Yeah, but you're making a huge deal. People are making a huge deal.
All right, that's because it's weird. We don't like that shit.
A lot of things are weird.
Normal people, we don't fuck with that shit. Normal people,
things are strange. That doesn't mean you should cancel someone because you feel weird.
Grow up. I cancel? All right, now you're putting fucking words in my mouth. When did I say we should cancel him? Quote me right now.
I didn't say that. A lot of people are antagonizing.
Then you're antagonizing someone. It's synonymous with imaginary person. You're talking to an imaginary person because I never said we should cancel him. So you're talking to somebody else.
But you're antagonizing him for doing something that you think feels weird.
No, it isn't. It doesn't look weird. It is weird. Now, whether the context is good or bad, that's a different story. But it looks weird. I'm sorry. A dude in his mid-30s talking to a 14-year-old who they're not related.
Huge deal out of it. You're not moving on from it.
No, because you made a thing to be like, oh, how do you like they check their messages? Oh, it was normal. Like we don't know anything.
You know what they check?
What's making me annoyed is you're assuming like you know anything. Like you're assuming you know anything about this shit.
Did they come out and say they felt weird that he said he misses her?
I don't fucking know.
Because they didn't. They didn't come out and say it.
I don't care.
You don't have to care. I'm asking you. They still like whether you care or not. These things matter, not to you, but it still matters.
No, I'm saying it still looks weird, regardless of what you say. It still looks weird, regardless of what anyone.
Why can't you tolerate?
Unless there's like some crazy. Unless they come out
very to stomach down weirdness. Is it that weird that you just like you're gonna vomit? You're gonna have a mental condition. I didn't say it made me sick. Now you're putting words in my mouth again. No. I'm asking. I'm not saying. I'm asking.
Right. It didn't make me sick because obviously there's nothing sick about it.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
All right, that's fine. So why the fuck did you have a whole 20-minute conversation trying to nitpick at Kendrick making a realization in his life?
But that's a bigger deal because you're
that is not a bigger deal. What the
fuck? That is a bigger deal because you're impacting so many people.
Is a bigger
deal. You take off something.
It's a bigger deal
in terms of Kendrick should have made that clear from the beginning.
What do you mean made that? Yo, get the fuck out of here. Yo, you are not a fan. You are not a fan of both of them. You're a Drake fan.
Into something that is not really him.
What do you mean not? Okay, now you're lying again. I'm about to just hang up because now this is like the 5th time you put shit in my mouth. But like I'm just gonna like pause. But it's the 5th time you're putting words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I didn't say you said this. I didn't say you said this.
Wait, I said he wasn't being himself because you just said Kendrick wasn't being him.
No.
Don't say no now after I fucking called you out on what you just said. Come on, bro. You're not doing that. Admit that you said shit that was incorrect, or say that you like misspoke and you didn't even remember saying it. Because it's either one or the other. Because you were talking about how some Kendrick should have said that shit.
The whole thing with
you're talking about some Kendrick should have said that shit from the beginning instead of being someone that wasn't himself. Like what? The fuck? When the fuck did I say that? Because I definitely didn't say that. And if you're inferring that, then you're just wrong.
I didn't say that you said that.
Well, if you said that, then that means we have to go back to that initial conversation because clearly there's something that you missed. Because you were under the impression.
The way I said it, you kept correcting me, and I keep forgetting what you're correcting me on. So I say it how I think I said it.
Okay,
I didn't
fine.
mean it.
So
oh my God, I didn't mean to do this and that and the third. I didn't mean it like that. Cool. Whatever you thought I meant, right? When you corrected me, that's probably what I meant to say. That's why when you brought out
up that stuff, and like, he had writer's block, things of that, nature, and that, Kendrick, he thought doing this, right, and having this kind of image, right, and putting this image in his music, like during the Damn era, How to Pimp a Butterfly, he would reach so many people and help them, right? He then years later came out and is just like, he's not trying to do all that no more. He's trying to be more fully himself, something along those lines.